Oh, not this again.
It's Monday, and we are done with the preseason. Welcome in, everybody. Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. 3 hours of power with the three amigos coming your way. What's happening, gentlemen? How we doing?
What's up, fellas?
Welcome the deal?
Back.
What's the deal?
All right, so you had an eventful few days, to say the least, Derek. And once again, congratulations to you on the latest addition to the gun crew, the gun clan, as they say.
The gun clan.
The gun posse keeps expanding.
We had to welcome Barrett, Elijah, Robert, Joshua.
Man, you almost made me spit up my water, man.
He's trying, man.
Wait. Barrett, Elijah, Robert, Joshua, Massey?
Yes. I was starting to say Brooks, but that'd have been inappropriate, but it's Massey.
No. It's Elijah, Joshua, Brooks, Massey. I jokingly told my son-in-law, I said, look, you gave my grandson a biblical name, he got a heathen for a father.
That's right. Well said. You got to. Hey, it's about the yin and the yang, Derek. You got to even it all out, man.
No, but I'm just joking, man. Josh a good dude, man. Barrett will tell you, but Josh
great dude, man.
He's a good dude, man. Good.
That's my partner, man.
We have pictures of the little one, I think. Xander, we have.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to give you a little Elijah. Look at that. Look at the proud grandpa right there, man.
Yeah, man.
That is
what
a handsome little guy. Thank God he doesn't look like his grandfather. I mean,
whoa.
I mean, what?
He was born at 11:32 a.m. Friday, 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Although my daughter told me the nurse said that one of the scales was off, so he's over 7 pounds. That's all I know right now. 23 inches long. This kid has long, skinny toes. I said, man, that kid can perch on a fence. Man, you just see his little toes, man. He can perch on the fence
like Clyde Talons. Yeah.
I'm like, what?
He's going to be an Eagles fan. Oh, look at that one. Look at that one. Unbelievable.
Grandpa's another little fishing buddy for Grandpa.
That is awesome.
I mean, and Uncle too, man.
Yeah,
I already let him know. I sent out the group text to everybody in the family. We're gonna make him a saltwater fisherman too. Bro.
That's right.
Yes. We got to broaden his horizon. Him and Cruz, we have to broaden the horizon.
Right. There's some good looking kids right there, man.
That's what it's all about, man. Well, if you guys hear a whole bunch of noise, though, that you have to excuse me because I'm getting solar panels put up, and they said it's loud, but I don't think it's loud. I don't
hear anything.
Right, good.
So far.
Don't hear anything yet, but I'm telling you something. I've seen neighbors across the street and people like 2 or 3 doors down in years past putting up solar panels. I can hear it in my house.
Wow.
So you're lucky. You're lucky if you don't hear any noise.
We'll play it by ear. We might have maybe another guest. If somebody comes down, who knows? We'll have somebody else.
Well, I'm in the basement, so you might not hear it.
Okay.
So last week when you were telling us you were getting solar panels, the day before, I'm walking up from my garage, going to yard, do some yard work. Gal comes walking up behind me. Hey, I'm so and so, and we're doing solar panels in this area. Would you like that? I said, I don't have time to talk about it. Yeah, but you know what? It's free and all this stuff. I'm like, there ain't nothing free nowadays.
Free,
so
yeah, right.
He kept saying, so he gave me a card, and I said, you know what, dude? If you're in the neighborhood in a week or so, come back. I said, it's helter-skelter around my house right now. I don't have time. Well, you don't want free? I mean, he was trying. He was being nice. He was trying his best to make it. I said, look, dude, I just don't have time to talk to you right now. So why did you get solar panels, Mr. Brooks?
I got it to take off some of the bill, man. People, when you look at when you sit down and look at your electric bill.
Oh yes, woo!
Do you know that they charge you just as much as it is to use the power you're using, but to transport the power to you?
Oh yeah.
Like my bill actually for the last 2 months has been like $620.
And what is it normally?
Usually right about $450. But
my bill's $455 a month.
Right.
But it just went up. I didn't mean to cut you off. Does your energy company, do they send you letters, guys, that say this a house of your size normally uses this much energy?
Yes.
And it's like a little bar about this big. Your house is using this much energy.
Yep.
And they send that to everybody, but I'm like, but they got me, man, because they raised my last power bill was like $100 more.
But look, when you look at the next time you look at your bill, look at how much it costs for them to just transport your energy to you. Right. Like I'm using Atlantic City Electric, so there's a power plant probably 7-8 miles from me. Oh, there it is, right there.
I told you. I told you it was
heck?
coming. I told you, man.
But it's only 7-8 miles away from my house. But I'm getting energy transported from Philadelphia or PA. So they're charging me like maybe $260-270 just to get the energy to my house.
What?
Right. So look at your bill and see how much it costs for them to transport your energy to your house. And you'll be amazed at how much it is. Amazed. It's almost half your bill is just getting the energy from there to your house.
Unbelievable.
And that's one of the major reasons why I'm going with solar panels, because I'll be paying a certain amount to the company that just did this. And whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it would start. It would start. Just because I said something, that's why I started.
That's right. You jinxed it. So the big story. First of all, what's up to everybody in the chat room? We appreciate.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the
love. Good to see all of you. Everybody streaming. Everybody listening. Thank
you.
Mama Brooks. Hi, Mama Brooks. So as we know, tomorrow is the cuts 80-53, but we're already getting word, guys. Eagles, they're starting to filter out. You ready for some that we're hearing?
Yeah.
Jaquiski Tart, bye-bye.
Goodbye. I told you.
He didn't help himself.
49ers cut him for a reason. I told you guys this.
Yeah,
because
he did not.
Should be playing Will linebacker. That's why.
Yeah,
he's too skinny.
So that's one that we're hearing. We're also hearing Cameron Tom, the offensive lineman. That's not a surprise.
No.
It's a loaded offensive line. So
but he stuck it up so bad in the game.
Yeah,
he's a center and a guard.
Yeah.
He was bad yesterday.
Man, he got beat like a drum, man.
I'll give you an interesting one. The Eagles gave this guy guaranteed $320,000 as an undrafted free agent. And according to Jonathan Jones, who was reporting this, and he is an insider for CBS and other outlets, Carson Strong is gone.
Oh,
keep in mind, these guys can be signed back to the practice squad, but that's a lot of money for a guy who you wouldn't even put on the field in a preseason game. Basically, he barely even got on the field. So there's three that we know of right now.
How he gave out a lot of money to these undrafted rookies to get them to come here. I remember back when it was a story locally and nationally, the volume of dollars, how he was giving out to undrafted players to get them to come here, which was unheard of for giving the undrafted players in a lot of cases. So if Carson Strong is gone, he gave him what? 325?
325 guaranteed.
Ooh, that dude made it like a bandit, man. He didn't even get to play much.
No.
Well, see, that's just because he can get on the practice squad.
Are they hiding him, Barrett? Is that what your theory is?
He's just going to be on the practice squad, and they're going to do that. They're going to do that, man. They're going to do that, man. It's the nature of the beast, just so he can get him on the practice squad. They're only going to keep 2 quarterbacks. You know,
unless somebody else takes him off.
Yeah, nobody's going to take him. No.
Hey, you don't think so?
No, I don't. I doubt that seriously. You know, it's a game, man. Can you hide them? Can you keep people from looking at them? You know, do you put guys on the field? Some guys help themselves out. Some guys, bro. If you're out there and you understand the magnitude of what's going on, you're gonna play a lot better than you saw. I saw some effort plays out there that, you know, you just can't allow yourself to do. You can't let effort be the reason why you're not there.
Right.
When you're not working hard, it should be full speed every single play. And when I saw guys not giving max effort, that's when like the offensive lineman Tom. He's playing center. I understand he's getting beat like a drum. He's playing against starters. But I saw lack of effort in how he was getting beat. You know what I'm saying? You got to move. You got to be continually moving. That he got beat, he'd stand there and look. Never let the camera catch you looking. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're just looking, That means somebody looking at you just looking.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You got to finish plays, man. You know, that was one thing they never said anything about B. Brooks being lazy or lack of effort. That's something that I can control. That's an intangible that I can control.
That's right.
I can control my effort. I can control me knowing my playbook. I can't control the time I'm on the field if you keep.
That's right.
But I'm going to make it damn hard for you to let me go.
That's right.
Barrett, I do wonder. I mean, the Carson Strong thing is weird to me. Like,
how much time did he get?
He didn't get much time.
No,
Right.
I know, but I mean, is that literally because he's just that bad, or you really think they're trying to hide this guy to sneak him on a practice? Like, are they going to those lengths where they don't even want him playing against competition?
Well, I think it was kind of bad because you didn't even see it in practice.
It tells me he was brutal.
Yeah. I mean, and it might be his functional mobility is just that bad because it can't be his arm because he's got a cannon for an arm. I've witnessed it, firsthand in games.
Yeah, he's got the arm,
but functional mobility be something that he lacks,
and knowing where to go with it.
Right. That too. But I mean, he had a pretty good football mind when I did sit back and I evaluated him. So I can't see to him not being smart enough to be out there, to play the game. I can see him trying to hide him, but you got to help yourself, man. I know you don't get a lot of reps, but whenever you do get times, you got to maximize those opportunities. I didn't see a lot of guys maximize those opportunities. There's a lot of guys that walk around and strut around like they already had made it, and that I was confused about that.
The scouting report on Carson Strong coming out of college was laser for an arm, can make all the throws, not afraid to put a ball through the eye of a needle in heavy traffic, but the big but was stationary target because of the multiple knee injuries. Every quarterback in the NFL is not a mobile quarterback. Okay. There's ways to compensate. Hey, Tom Brady made a career out of being a stationary target. If you get the right offense, you can hide that deficiency. I'm just shocked he didn't get more reps when you consider how little the starters played for the Eagles. They kept putting Sennett out there, and I'm like, okay, we've seen enough of him. Yeah, why are we not seeing Strong? Does he not know the offense? Is he having trouble with the offense? Is he hurt? Is the knee? Is there something with the knees that's been lingering that hasn't come out yet?
John Dickerson, man.
Yeah, John Dickerson's crazy, man.
He said Barrett has better knees than Strong.
Damn.
And mine are shot.
Hey, I'll give you another one. According to Mike K, Jason Huntley, the running back who had a pretty nice run. One of the few bright spot plays from Saturday, that disaster Saturday. He's gone, and he was a kick returner too.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. He doesn't have he doesn't have the eye coordination to
What does that mean? Tell people what that means.
He couldn't read holes. He would hit holes too fast, and the hole wouldn't be there. He wasn't a patient runner. He didn't see the play develop in front of him. No. He just didn't play well at the running back position. That's what happened.
Not only that, but and I wanted to bring this up last week and forgot about it. When I watched him in the first two preseason games, was it me or he runs too upright? Number one, he runs too high. He's a target. Number one. Number two, he has, like Barrett said, he hesitated. I didn't think he put his foot in the ground and hit the hole when it was available. And it was like he was second guessing where he was supposed to go. And I'm thinking, okay, I get that for a rookie, but he's been in this offense. So he should know all the little nuances of this offense.
Me, guys, yeah.
But everything that I've seen about him in preseason was not like the guy I watched play last year.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to
you're
figure
right.
out why.
It looks like he took a step backwards, Derek.
Yeah,
he showed some potential last year for sure.
Yeah, it's weird,
But the only thing I keep man, I'm going to harp on this, and they may make moves to improve this area. And we'll get into all this. Zach Berman is going to join us at 1:00. By the way, we will dive into the roster, and we'll continue to update you throughout the show and who's gone and who isn't, et cetera. But I'm sorry, man, and I know it's not as sexy and as a big a deal as offense and defense. Their special team should scare the hell out of everybody, other than Jake Elliott.
Oh my goodness.
Their punter and the return game should scare people. And Huntley at least could return a kick. I'm not telling you he was great by any
right.
But,
that was his forte, returning kicks.
Yeah,
I thought you said he could scare people as far as him being dynamic or this team being dynamic.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't.
No. He said special teams
to
scare you.
No. I'm scared. I am scared about special teams.
Yes,
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's interesting. I mean, that's again, we'll as these continue to filter in, we'll pass them on. But
I tell you what else scares me.
Yeah.
Watching this team over 3 preseason games, their depth at certain positions scares me to death. The secondary depth or lack thereof, the linebacking depth or lack thereof. This team, they look good on frontline talent. They look the deepest part of this team is both the offensive and defensive lines.
Yeah.
Outside of that, question mark. Now we're running back, safety position, backup corners, linebackers. I'm a little worried about the depth on this team now.
Yeah. No, that's fair. And back to Tart, they gave Tart $500,000 guaranteed too.
Ooh.
I mean, there's $800,000 in guarantees for 2 guys who don't make the roster.
Well, guys, I'm gonna tell you this.
Give me $500,000 to go out there. Well, here's what I do. I go out there, line up, put the suit on, look good in my uniform. I'd make one cut, drop to the ground, grab my hamstring, say I'm done. That's my career. Where my $500,000? That's it. I'm done,
bro.
All I need.
Yeah, it's a tough game, man. But one thing you can't do is count the Eagles' money. They're loaded.
Listen, I'm not feeling sorry for the Eagles. I'm just saying they clearly thought these guys were going to be something, right?
Right. And they should be something. I mean, I was good with the fact that they got Carson. Carson Strong was supposed to be one of the top drafted, at least a second day pick, around the second, third, fourth round. Yeah. Showed what was it, the Mountain West? He was that dude, man. I mean, his ability to push the ball down the field, and this forte with deep passes. He and that tight end he had, and the receiver that's up in Green Bay right now was his top receiver. They were connected all the time down the field. I just think that we just they didn't give the kid enough time. Some guys can't transition and go into situations and be that guy. It took him a while to be the starter, so it might be the same thing with him now.
He has practice squad written all over him, doesn't he?
Yeah, you got to develop, man. I mean, I take it. $15,000 a week to go out there and throw interceptions. I'll do it all day. Throw interceptions to the defense, let them look good. Yeah, I'll do that all day.
Well, if you think about it, I didn't realize they talked about this during the broadcast, how much the practice squad now makes.
Yes.
You make upwards of like $187,000 or something like that.
I did the numbers. It was like 207. If you stayed on the practice squad for 18 weeks, it's like 207.
Yeah, and Carson Strong's already got 325 in the bank. I mean, that's a nice first job out of college, even if you don't not on the active roster. He's doing all right. But it's interesting. So, did you see this too? And again, we'll update you as we go here. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into the game Saturday and get into the whole injury versus playing your starters and being ready for the season. But NFL.com put out their top 100 list, and only 2 Eagles made it. Yeah. Slay at 77 and Kelsey at 71. No Lane Johnson or A.J. Brown.
I'm shocked. Wait, are you sure A.J. Brown didn't make it?
No.
I thought he was in the 60s or 70s.
No. Lane didn't give up a sack last year. Isn't he?
And he didn't make it. Wow.
I love that. I love that because Lane takes all that personal.
You're exactly right,
takes
Barrett.
all that personal. And I can't wait to see how he plays this year just to prove everybody wrong. He's pissed, and I know he's pissed because he looks at that type of thing and he puts that in his mental notes. And when he's out there choking people, he's going to be thinking the same thing. Oh, look at that. Xander's right. Mac Jones made it and Lane didn't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's crazy. Come on, man.
But Barrett, your read on that is dead on because he sees and hears everything. And uses it, I think, as a chip in a positive way to motivate.
Oh, he does. Oh, there's no question he does.
He's pissed. I can guarantee you he's pissed.
Just like that day I said he was the best player we had on the team. As soon as he heard that, D-Gun said something to him. Of course he's going to be on the show after that. You know what I'm saying?
No, listen, and it's fair. The only complaint you could have is, and I don't mean for when he took off for his mental health. I mean the ankle. He's missed some time over the years. That's a bit. I mean, when he's playing, the guy's as good a right tackle as there is in the game.
No question. There's no question. How do you not make this list? And it's, the thing that gets me the most is this is a list that's voted by your peers,
Yes.
and you overlook Lane Johnson?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what? I worked when I was at NFL Films. They used to send me out to the different teams because I was probably the only one to get the most votes. You know, the most accurate votes. You know, usually they just send a producer and a camera out there, and then forms that they could fill out. Well, I would get guys to go ahead and I'm like, come on, man, give me, throw me a bone, man. And I would get guys to do it for real, but the criteria in which they did it was like, oh man, don't vote on him, vote on our guy. Right. Or man, so everybody's gonna vote on him. Don't give him that satisfaction. So there's a lot of hating going on too with how they vote and who they vote for. So I mean, it's not really accurate, but still, Lane should be in there. They don't know anything about mental health issues or anything else.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said that, Barrett, because one of our former coworkers, Rachel McCauley,
mm-hmm.
She works for NFL Films.
Right.
And she's a part of a crew that travels around the country to get players to fill out the ballots. And she's told me about how difficult it is to get the guys just to fill out the ballots.
Yep. They don't want to.
So you're right. A lot of them don't want to, and they just leave them sitting there. So the numbers are somewhat inaccurate because some of these guys vote for their buddies, former teammates, college teammates, stuff like that.
Yep.
So you're right. It's an inaccurate vote, but the bottom line is people on the outside looking in take that stuff to heart because, we're not the only forum that's talking about this. Everybody talks about it across the board. NFL Network, top 100 players voted by their peers. And so, but people don't know the scenario behind it in terms of number. We never know how many players exactly vote.
Exactly.
And how many players don't vote.
Yep.
And a lot of the players don't vote.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's bad how I do it, but I mean, it's a show, you know what I'm saying? And we have to realize that it's a show that NFL Films has put together, so that's
well, right. And they want to do things that are controversial because they want us to talk about. Would we be talking about it if all the Eagles were on there that were worthy? No.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, they achieved their goal there. That's for sure. But we are 13 days away from the Eagles and 10 days away from the first game of the season. I got to tell you guys, as meaningless as these preseason games have become, it feels good to kind of put them behind you. It doesn't. I mean, it just feels good that you're like, all right, enough of that.
Years past, we still be going into another game.
I know. You'd have the Jet game on Thursday.
Yep.
The traditional Jet game is the way it would always play out.
Fall weather is getting closer and
or
closer.
Steelers.
Gunner, pressed Gunner.
Fall weather is almost upon us. Yeah.
You start moping, don't you? It's striper season. When it gets cold, it's striper season. So
So there you go.
I get. What the heck is that? What is
striper season? Well, you guys call them rockfish down in Maryland. So
what is that? I was hearing music. I was like, what is that?
What music?
No, what it was I opened up NFL.com to look at. I'm looking at the list of top 100s, and a video popped up, and I didn't hit the button quick. I thought you guys could hear it also.
In your head that you
right.
Let me tell you something.
Staring on in my room, staring at candles.
After what I went through, after what me and my wife went through the last 3.5 days, yes, I'm hearing voices. Yes,
I hear you.
I'm telling you, man.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
It's crazy, man. But
so what were you saying, Gunner? Make your point about the list.
My point being this: I wish there was a way to have a more accurate voting process done. Just because then you would get a better, you would be able to digest better what players think about their peers across the league. But because it is so difficult to get a lot of these players to vote, and of course it's tainted. It's like anything else. If we were voting, on anything, we would vote. Hey, I'm voting for Rob. I'm voting for Barrett.
Right.
It's a shame. It's a shame that certain players don't get their recognition. Which they like a Lane Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And other players, you sit there going, wait a minute. Wait, Mac Jones is on the list? No, Mac Jones is okay, but he's on the list ahead of a Pro Bowler.
A guy who's been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah, who didn't give up a sack last year, who had to leave the game because mental health and came back and hit the ground running and still didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
He doesn't make the list.
Strange. It's very strange. Yeah. And maybe some of that. No, I mean, I was going to say is part of it. Offensive linemen don't get the recognition they should get. I don't know. Maybe there's a little piece of that. I don't know. I don't know what the justification is for Lane Johnson. I really don't think there are a lot of other Eagles that are worthy of it. I think A.J. Brown. I think Lane.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you can really make a real strong case for a whole lot. I mean, it's
a lot of people know.
Mailata they'll start recognizing soon, I think.
Yeah.
I think Dickerson might start getting some recognition soon. I think Hassan Reddick could put himself on that list with another double-digit sack.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
another guy's going to be having a chip on his shoulder because of this, and plus it's a contract year for him.
Bradbury.
It's Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox. Yeah.
He takes stuff like this serious also. He hears everything. Don't think he doesn't. Fletch hears everything, and he makes it a point. He'll throw it back in your face too.
He will.
Yes,
he will.
I see him going out and having an amazing season simply because he hears all the doubters. He hears all the people saying, "Oh, he ain't worth the money they're paying for him." I think he takes that serious, and he's gonna come out with a chip on his shoulder and be cracking heads. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If I know Fletch is gonna. He's pissed off right now. That's why you see he's had a different camp because he heard everything. He saw that first time he got cut in his life. He's pissed.
Wow.
So you're gonna have an extra. He's gonna give a little extra this year.
Gotcha.
The thing about Fletcher is he doesn't hear it directly. He has a group of people that feed him the information.
Yes.
And sometimes you wonder, are they feeding him accurate information or feeding him information to motivate him? But he's one of those players. He doesn't watch a lot of sports. He don't listen to sports talk radio.
He's watching. He's watching fishing and
exactly,
hunting and that kind of stuff.
This dude got like 100-acre hunting camp down in Texas. He's got private lakes in Mississippi. He fishes, man. When I was in the locker, he threw it in my face.
Bass.
Yeah, he threw it in my face all the time. D-Gun, look at this. I'm like, man, where's this, dude? Somewhere in nowhere in Mississippi. I don't know.
You get a lot of land for not a whole lot of money.
Let me tell you something, man.
Yeah,
this hunting camp he has in Texas is ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
See, but I really think Fletcher's going to turn it on and have an amazing year, especially when he doesn't have to be the guy.
Yeah,
he wants to be the guy, and he's going to be pissed off. People aren't telling him he's not the guy. I love Fletcher. I love Fletcher in this type of circumstance. Okay. I love him in this type of circumstance.
I like it. All right, so we come back. We're going to continue to update you on cuts, not only with the Eagles, but around the league of note. So far, at least what's being reported, Jaquiski Tart, Cameron Tom, Carson Strong, Jason Huntley. That's what we know thus far, but we'll keep you posted as we go here. 1 o'clock, Zach Berman from The Athletic. We'll dive deeper. We'll go position by position. We come back. We're going to get a little bit into the whole argument of staying healthy in the preseason versus playing your starters and being ready to go when the season starts.
Hey, guys, I might be a little late coming back. I got to go all the way up to the attic, get this guy up in the attic, too. So
go do your thing, man.
Did he fall through the roof?
Don't be wishing nothing like that, bro.
Yeah.
No, I asked you a question.
No,
I said,
man,
Eric's going to go up there and have to
you got to push him back out.
Yeah. Get back.
Not that I know.
All right. All right. So we'll do all that when we get back. Don't go anywhere. D Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis, Sports Take on this Monday, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk about finances. Let's talk about Principal Financial Group and the man that you need who's got the plan. That's Jim Murray. I can tell you from personal experience that finding someone to trust with my finances, all the hard work that I put in, my wife, my family, we put in, we want to make sure that we are investing that money in a smart way. And Jim Murray is that guy from Principal Financial Group that you want to get with, whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review. If you have a small business and you need help with employee benefits, it's yet another resource that he can help you with. I can tell you, I've entrusted my IRA, 401k rollovers with Jim, and he made it an extremely smooth process. That was, explained to me every step of the way what we were doing. He's absolutely awesome. 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751. That's how you get a hold of him, or email him at Murray, MURRAY.Jim@principal.com. That's Murray.Jim@principal.com.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia Dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Go for the poles and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Hope you're doing well out there. Hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for hanging with us on this Monday. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Do us all a big favor and hit that like button really, really hard. We appreciate it from all of you, that's for sure. All right, so we're talking Eagles right now. 1 o'clock, Zach Berman's going to be joining us. All right, guys, let's look at this. I watched a lot of games over the weekend, including Tampa Bay, who's got Tom Brady out there, and the Steelers yesterday with their starters out there. They're not afraid to play their guys. A lot of teams toward the end of the season. We saw what Miami did with the Eagles. The Eagles have erred on the side of caution. They played that first series their ones did against the Jets. Got in and out. Everybody's relatively healthy. You know, we'll see about Miles Sanders, et cetera, but that's not even so much an injury on the field. He's been out. Whoa. Yes. Let's start with that one here, and I'll start with you, Barrett. Where do you stand on this? On the starters playing versus? Oh, you're muted, Gunner.
Barrett's kind of busy right now, Rob.
All right, I'll start with you, Derek. Where do you stand on the starters playing versus the rest? And let's make sure these guys are healthy, because Derek, let's face it too. The flip side of it is T.J. Watt yesterday, Deontay Johnson in the Steelers game.
Did you see the hit he took?
Yeah. Watt got T.J. Hawkinson cut him. Yeah, he cut him, and Johnson makes a catch. By the way, great throw by Trubisky. You can't drop it in better than that.
No question.
He makes the catch and lands weird on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Now, Tomlin said both guys are, it probably could have played if it was a regular season game, et cetera. But there's a lot to be said, and a lot of people making the case that the Eagles barely even touched the field in preseason games, aren't going to be ready week one. What do you think?
I'm on the side of if you're a veteran-laden team, if you're a team that has a bunch of guys who played together in the same system for a year or two, unless my training camp sessions have gone totally down the tubes, I don't see any benefit why your regulars need to play. I understand you need to get some of that rust off. At the very most, I would go 1 series the first game, maybe 2 series the second game, and then that's it. My regulars are not even putting on a uniform for that third game, because you look at what happened with Pittsburgh. You may have lost 2 of your best players, even for a short period of time. When you're coming out of the gate with a big question mark at your quarterback situation, your running back, your wide receiver, Deontay Johnson, that's your best wide receiver right now. I mean, Claypool's pretty good.
And
also,
Pickens may turn out to be a beast. But yeah.
But
right.
you need every weapon at your disposal coming out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
T.J. Watt is the reigning defensive player of the year and almost broke the record for quarterback sacks. You need that guy on the field because your defense is not what it used to be. Okay, so I'm not playing a guy. They're not getting on the field. There's no need. You're playing for the most part against it. Now, if you're Detroit's got a bunch of guys hungry making the team. They had a bad season. I get what Dan Campbell's doing with those guys. He's trying to get them up to speed. I get that. It's a Russian roulette situation. You spin the wheel. They may come out unscathed. They may get injured. And we've seen some prominent players hurt already. Kvon Thibodeau for the Giants last week.
Yep.
Prime example. But for a team that's a veteran-laden team, like the Green Bays, my regulars don't touch the field. They're not. You can't afford it.
Look, and Barrett, you want to jump in? Are you good, or is it still okay? Yeah, go ahead.
That's like a double-edged sword to me because
it is.
I was in, when I played, everybody played. At least the first game they played 2 quarters. The second game they played a quarter. The third game they played a half and in a series into the third quarter, and then the fourth game they played one series and they were out. They wouldn't play anymore. You just can't hide from injuries. Injuries happen regardless. Injuries can happen in camp. They can happen in practice. Hell, they can walking into the Wawa. You never know. You just can't hide yourself from that. And I'm a firm believer in also that now you get great by the habits that you form in practice. And you don't know if you're great unless you go out there and play, full speed. What they do in practice, yes. I mean, you could tell that, that they're very uniform in how they do it. They don't waste time. They're getting stuff done.
Very efficient with their time.
Very efficient. Exactly. That's very efficient. That's a better word for it. Very efficient. But you don't know until you're doing full speed reps how things are going to go. You don't know how your body's going to react, if you're in shape enough to play an entire game. These guys don't even know if they're in shape enough to play an entire game yet. I mean, and that's a true assessment that you have to, and it's an individual assessment. It's not just the coaching staff. That's an individual assessment. Are you in shape enough to go 4 quarters? What if you have as an offensive lineman, you have a 18-play drive in the first series. Second series, you have a 16-play drive. Do you have enough in the tank to finish this entire game? You don't know. You hope you do. You hope you condition yourself enough. Until you play all those reps, you just don't know. And football is one of those things, man, if you're always digging deeper, you know what I'm saying? You always taking your body to exhaustion every single play. Every single play you're going until you're exhausted. You know what I'm saying? You're giving the entirety of your soul every single play. You know what I'm saying? It may not be long, but it's still every single play. You're going that hard. You know what I'm saying? But still, you just don't know if you're in shape or not. I don't know if these guys are in shape.
Look, a team like Pittsburgh, there's no need for them to be playing an entire half.
No.
There's no need for them to be out there. Why is Trubisky still out there through the whole first half?
Well, they don't know if he's the guy. I understand that.
You may not have him. You took the risk. You might not have had him to know. Now, we assume Kenny Pickett is going to be taking over that team. If Kenny Pickett is showing us what he's capable of doing, Trubisky is going to be on the bench before the season is over. But you got to start with everybody you think that can get you out of the gate the fastest. And because more teams are going to this, playing the starters less, we all agree the first 2, 3, 4 weeks coming out of the gate in the NFL is rusty. So everybody's rusty coming out of the gate. I don't care who it is.
It took the Eagles until their 8th game to figure out who they were.
Yes.
They
their identity.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And like, for instance, another thing. Why the hell is Zach McPherson not playing? Why is he not suited up?
Exactly. He should be playing.
Exactly. Even guys like, Cam Jurgens, he should have played.
What about
Dickerson should have played?
Dean should have been playing more because Dean had a bad game.
Well, Dean and Davis, and the other thing is, I saw a lot of guys. I know Saturday was early on. It was 1s against 2s and 3s. I get it. I don't get that cranked up about that part of it. But later in the game, when it was 2s against 2s and 3s against 3s, not only were the Eagles getting their ass kicked, I saw a team that was huffing and puffing out there. They were tired, man. Yeah. There were some dudes gassed. I know it's South Florida and all the other excuses we're going to
It doesn't make it. But see, Rob, you can't do that. You mean, what if you're playing in Florida?
I hear you.
Playing a team in Florida.
No, Barrett, I agree. I agree. Yep. Ultimately, like for me, I'll err more on Derek's side of this thing with the game Saturday. But why didn't we see more of this in Cleveland? Why didn't we see a little bit more game action in Cleveland? Like, and again, if your goal is just, hey, I just want to be healthy, okay, I guess. But you better be ready to play in Detroit on the 11th. You better be ready to go. If you're not, he's going to catch hell, man. Sirianni is going to catch hell. For
bro, you just like you saw them guys huffing and puffing. They're going to be bent over. Remember I was telling you guys last week, I wanted to see practice because I wanted to see who's running extra after practice, who's doing a little thing, who's running before practice, who's running after practice. That's when you know that guys are at the peak of their game. They understand what their body needs to go through in order to play an entire game. You got to do that extra run, the extra little this, extra little that. Who's staying after? Who's watching? I haven't been able to see that, so I don't know who's doing that. But there better be a lot of guys doing it because you can't be in shape to play a game when you haven't played a game. You can't. You have to work at it, bro. It takes time.
Right. And I get like to me, if Brady is saying to Todd Bowles, hey, I need to be out there. Okay. Yes. I'm not arguing with Tom Brady in that circumstance. It's different. But there are other guys who I don't think TJ Watt really needed to be out in the second quarter in that game yesterday.
No.
So there's a line to be drawn somewhere here and choosing your spots with certain guys.
Well, some guys you have to do it though.
No, I agree, Barrett, but I think Tomlin dodged a big bullet, man, yesterday with both of those guys. You're talking about Watt, arguably the best defense. Well, we think, but arguably the best defensive player, and potentially, like you said, Derek, maybe your number one wideout. Both going down. You got really fortunate there. And the other thing is,
go ahead. I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry.
No. I was just going to say the other thing is some stuff you can't control. Like I think the Giants have just had awful luck, and I don't think anybody in Philly's crying any tears for them, but. Like it feels like anything they do, whether it's practice or a preseason game, somebody major is going down. And Tyrod Taylor went down, yesterday.
Well, I'm looking at the stream, and the stream said, "Did Covey get a disservice by playing with Senate?" Bruh, I don't care if you put me out there with Mother Teresa, and she's throwing the ball. If I'm a receiver, I'm going to get it. You're doing whatever you can to stand out. You're doing whatever you can in practice to make sure that I'm going to make it so hard for them to cut me that they'll be like, man, I just can't cut this dude because if I cut him, somebody's going to grip him up right then and there. And I want this guy here. And that's where it should be. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you look at my career towards the end of my career, my last 5-6 years, I wasn't a starter, but I made it so hard on Green Bay, the Giants, and the Steelers to cut me that they're like, man, Brooksy, I don't know what how you do it, man. I know you should be starting, man, but you know why we brought you here. But man, just keep doing what you're doing, man. You'll always have a home there.
Yeah, bro. Look, I think it's a fair question that when Sinnott looks as bad as he does, and Carson Strong can't even get on the field, it's a hard thing as a receiver to try to make plays. It is. It's fair. I mean that part's hard. You can go out and make plays, Barrett. I'm not arguing that. Defensive lineman can, the linebacker. You are kind of at the mercy of the quarterback to an extent. Covey didn't show me a ton.
I mean, if you're a slot receiver, no matter if the quarterback throws it to you or not, people are sitting down watching every single play you do. The eye in the sky is always watching. Mm-hmm. And if he had to run an outcut, was he running at full speed? Did he look like he belonged out there on the field? Mm-hmm. And at times it didn't look like he knew what he was doing or knew that he didn't look like he belonged out on the field. When you're that small, but you're that quick, mm-hmm. you shouldn't have anybody cover you. If you want to make the squad, nobody should cover you.
Yeah.
Just like I thought that Kane,
Deion Kane.
Kane should have did more.
He had a catch early, and then all he did was hurt himself as that game went on.
Crushed himself.
Drops. They were catchable balls.
2 drops.
In defense of Sinnott and Strong and whoever was throwing, like he had 2 that were absolute. You have to catch in the NFL.
I don't want him to be the next Travis Fulgham. I hope he's not the next Travis Fulgham if he makes his team.
You can't. So because of what he did, after that one catch, I'm like, all right, here he goes again. All he does is go out there and catch.
Right.
Then after that, he just showed what, he looked like not even an average receiver. Yeah. You cannot have drought. I don't care. When I was out, I'm telling you, and I could just go by me. When I was out in the field and I'm playing with 2s and 3s, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even fair. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point that, I had coaches come over. Why are they playing you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Yeah. I had a coach literally from I forget what it was. The Chart. It was either the Chart. It was a West Coast team, and we were playing them in the preseason. And the coach was pissed. I said, "Man, why they got you out here, man? Man, you've been in the league 9 years. They know you can play. Why they got you out here playing, man? Beating on by my guys."
Wow.
I literally had a coach tell me that.
Yeah.
Because I made sure that I was above and beyond, head and tail over.
Yeah, make
wherever
it easy.
I was out there.
Make it easy for them.
Wasn't even close.
Yeah. I will tell you, I thought the guys that hurt themselves, okay, on Saturday. I thought Davion Taylor really hurt himself. I thought Kvon Wallace really hurt himself.
Oh my goodness.
Big time, like stood out big time. I thought the guys who helped themselves, I thought Patrick Johnson, Reed Blankenship, and Devin Allen helped themselves. But
Reed Blankenship had the best defensive hit of the game.
Yeah, that was
first
form
half.
Tackling, man. That was
a perfect form tackle. He lowered that. He power drove that dude with the ball, man.
But that's every time he gets an opportunity, though, D-Gun.
Yeah. But everybody else. But see, like I said in our meeting, in our pre-show meeting today, this performance across the board by a lot of guys made it easy for the Eagles to make some cuts, but it also made it more difficult because guys you thought were potential backups to fill out this 53-man roster. Now we got to reevaluate what player have we been watching this entire training camp in preseason session.
Yep.
Is this the guy, or was it fool's gold leading up to this game? Because it looked like these guys, all they wanted to do was enjoy the sun in front of South Florida and get back on the plane and get home. And it's like, time out. Do you guys understand you're playing for jobs with the Philadelphia Eagles here? You're playing like it. And with the practice squad now expanded to 16 instead of 10. Do you guys understand the money you can make on a practice squad if we can just hold on to? But now it's like, I don't know who to keep, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, if you're right there on that cut line and you go out and give that kind of performance, man, you're sealing your fate. You really are. It feels to me like the problem with Blankenship is going to be if you're trying to sneak him onto the practice squad, somebody's going to grab him. Maybe Tart getting cut. Yep. And if you're just tuning in, we're hearing Tart, Cameron Tom, offensive lineman, Carson Strong, and Jason Huntley right now. Tart getting cut may mean that Blankenship's here. Maybe. We're going to go through the whole roster with Zach Berman at 1 at the top of the hour, but maybe that's a foreshadowing of that he's going to make it.
Well, if there's anybody that took advantage of every opportunity they had that in practice, also in game type situation, it was Blankenship. He made sure that he had that ugly ass number just showing up every time he was on the field, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't help but notice the ugliest number on the field, and he was showing up, man. You gotta show up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta show up, man. I mean,
Calcaterra's got a bad number. Covey had a bad number.
Yes.
Devin Allen.
The worst, come on.
It's the bad numbers, man.
Covey's was the worst though. 41.
Oh.
And you're a small receiver too.
Yeah.
Small.
You couldn't find an 80 something for that guy. You couldn't stick an 80, slap an 80 on him. I mean,
that was the worst, man. I'm looking at him like, come on, man. Give me a break.
Well, that's almost like, hey, dude, you got a long mountain to climb. So be ready. If I'm giving you this number.
Exactly. But but Reed is like, look, at this point, I know I belong out here. And even with this ugly number, you're going to see 4.6 every single time.
Yeah.
And he gave you something to look at every single time he was on the field. Guy that helped himself, Patrick Johnson. Guy that didn't help himself, Kyron Johnson.
Yeah. The Johnsons, it was total opposite. Patrick has had a great camp, I think.
Patrick's like, give me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I belong here. You know what I'm saying? Tyree Jackson, I belong here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why are you disrespecting me and having me playing with these guys out here? I'm killing them. You know what I'm saying? And that's the attitude you had. Matt Leo, I had such high hopes for him. With the one for that special teams play, I wouldn't even know he was on the field.
Yeah.
Marvin Wilson had high hopes for him. He didn't do anything for me.
Quiet.
Tui Polotu.
Yeah.
He didn't help himself either, but
I think he's on a borderline.
Yeah, just by default.
Well, let me ask you, did Devin Allen do enough as a gunner to make the practice squad at least?
He'll make the practice squad.
I think he should be on the practice squad.
Yeah.
It's an interesting role for him with that speed. I know he's not a big guy, but he didn't look afraid.
He was.
No, he did.
He was
he made a couple nice. That one tackle.
Oh
man.
yeah, big time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
he was
but
like
what you have
a
to
pit
do,
bull, man.
At least you aren't questioning effort.
Yes,
you know,
and that's what I question, and I question Kvon Wallace's effort every single time, every single play that I saw his number.
Yeah.
Whenever I saw 42, it was like a hang arounder. You know, he's just hanging around. You can't be that way, man. I guess he thought it was just so gravy that he's just gonna make the squad. Yeah. He might make the squad, but he just didn't. I was not overwhelmed. I didn't see anything from what I saw the year before. He didn't play better. You know, and I saw guys getting crushed and didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I saw guys get beaten, didn't care. You know, Tate Goins, you didn't help yourself. Tate Goins didn't help himself at all. Kerry Vincent Jr. McCain.
Oh, Kerry Vincent Jr.
Vincent Jr. was. I should have mentioned him in the band.
Oh my goodness.
Oof. All right, let me give you one more. Our buddy Adam Kaplan is reporting. This is not a surprise. Defensive tackle Renell Wren, he is going to be waived as well. He didn't show much.
Nothing.
So yeah, that one's not a surprise. So that's kind of where we are. There's been, at least that we know of, 5 names so far, including Wren. We have Tart, Tom, Strong, and Huntley. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Oh, look, we can just go through it. I'll tell you.
No, we are. That's where we're going in a minute. I got every position, dude. I got every position ready for you, Barrett. You're gonna be doing it. Trust me. It goes from 80 to 53, and then they've expanded the practice squad. What would it used to be? 5 back in the day?
It was 7.
7, and now it's 16.
Yeah, it was 7. Now it's 16. That's why, you know, it's so easy now to just hang around, man. I think guys are just becoming complacent because you just hang around. I see a lot of these guys just hanging around and being content, you know. Like for instance, Richard Rogers, you're too damn old to be making penalties like that.
Yeah.
You're too old.
Yep.
You can't do that to yourself, man. You're just too damn old, man. He come out, then he's looking all crazy like, no, dog, they calling your name, man. You older than everybody out there. Everybody. You can be all they pops if you want to, you know what I'm saying? And you out there you can't make mistakes like that. You can't, bro. He just, you know, and he wasn't blocking, you know, holding. I mean, come on, man.
Well, you know, again, I'll beat the dead horse, but you know, is it a game where we should have been seeing Rager into the second half?
Yes,
you know?
Absolutely.
Where's that at?
He wasn't dressed.
Punt return, special teams, wide receiver. He's been playing everything.
Like, are you really that worried that he's going to get hurt? At best, he's your 6th receiver.
Well, they're only going to keep 5, and he's the 5th one. I think. I mean, who else is they're going to keep Greg Ward?
No, Greg Ward hasn't played all camp.
He's been hurt. Yeah, he's been hurt.
Well, John Hightower tried to help himself a little bit.
He did.
You know, but he didn't do enough to make the squad. I thought Deanne Kane, he hurt himself. Devin Allen helped himself, but he won't make the squad. Britton Covey hasn't done enough. He won't make the squad. I think Greg Ward, and I'm just saying this because that's just what I feel. It's not laid in stone. If they don't make the squad, don't come out. Oh, Barrett, you lied. I'm just giving my.
We're all prognosticating.
My evaluation. You know what I'm saying? What I think of what I saw. This is what I'm thinking. Guys should have made the squad. That's just me. You know, Mario
Ward can still go on the practice squad, right? There's no age limits anymore, right?
No, it used to be like when I first played. It wasn't like I didn't qualify for the practice squad because I came in and started my rookie year. I became vested my rookie year, so I couldn't play. I couldn't. So I mean, if you brought me, if they cut me, I was just cut because I was out. You know, I was a vested veteran. So it was hard for a guy, you know, that came in and played early to make the practice squad. Only people that got exempt from that was quarterbacks. You could have an older quarterback on the practice squad, even though he was vested.
Right.
And that's, like, I don't understand the rules for quarterbacks back then, because sometimes, even a guy that's on the practice squad would dress. A quarterback would dress on the practice squad. I'm like, how is he dressed on the practice squad?
Yeah, you could activate him in case of emergency, right? And then the one who went down couldn't go back in.
Exactly.
Even if that stuff was like, why would you not allow a guy to come back in if he's okay?
Exactly. It was crazy because I guess that came from the body bag game against, what was it, Washington?
Washington, yeah. Brian Mitchell ended up playing quarterback that
yeah.
That was crazy. They were guys just going down like flies.
Also, I thought Noah Taogia.
He keeps helping himself. I'm sorry. He kept helping himself up until Saturday.
Yeah, up until Saturday. He helped himself a lot, and then all of a sudden Saturday he goes out late. A lot of those guys laid an egg. Yeah. A guy that also helped himself, Sean Bradley.
Always. I think he's so good on special teams. He was locked in anyway.
And he's an attitude, man.
He's a beast, dude. That guy is on fire every second he's out.
Bro, he max effort every single play. Even if he's wrong, he looks like he's right because he's doing it full speed.
Yep. Just show hustle. Show some hustle.
I'm telling you, man, all those guys could have learned a thing or two from Sean Bradley. The way he goes about his business.
He's one of those guys like, man, I know y'all think I shouldn't be here, but I'm going to show you that I belong here.
Yeah. Yeah, no question. All right, we come back. Zach Berman's going to join us. We're going to dive, Barrett, into the entire roster, position by position, who's in, who's out, what we know of right now. If we keep getting names, with the Eagles are around the league, we'll let you know. We'll pass that on. That's for sure. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network on this Monday, hanging with you. A little Pro Action Restoration talk right now. Pro Action Restoration are the people that you turn to if you've had smoke, water, fire, mold damage, even something you're not really sure about. They are the people to reach out to. They're on call 24 hours, 7 days a week. I reached out to them on a Saturday with an issue that I had. They were there quickly. They cleaned up the mess. The crew was professional. The price was reasonable. Every box was checked. They are licensed, bonded, fully insured. They've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company. Again, if you're having any of these kind of issues, you don't want to mess around with water, fire, smoke, mold damage, mold remediation, any of it. Or if you're not really sure, you're saying to yourself, I don't know how to clean this thing up. Who do I turn to? Give them a call. Get a consult. 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760. Or you can reach them online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Go for the poles and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports Take on this Monday. Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks hanging with you. Thrilled to be joined by our next guest. You can follow him on Twitter at ZBurm. He covers the Philadelphia Eagles for The Athletic. He is also the author of Underdogs, the one and only Zach Berman. What's up, Z-Berm? How you doing?
Zach,
hey,
what's
doing
up?
Great. Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. Busy week this week, but always make time for Rob, D, Gunn, and Barrett.
Thank you, Zach.
Appreciate it, man.
It's gonna be fast and furious the next couple of days. It's already started, Zach. Let me ask you again, reported, not official, but I'll throw a couple at you. Any surprises so far of the Tart, Tom, Strong, Huntley, Wren? Any of those you say to yourself, I thought maybe he'd make the team, or this could be a good candidate for the practice squad, etc.
Nope, all of those players are players I did not anticipate to be on the 53-man roster. I think Tart, if we go back to the beginning of training camp, you probably thought he was going to be on the team. Didn't play his way onto the roster. Actually, I would say, for lack of a better term, played his way off of the roster. He missed some time. You understand that. But he did not distinguish himself among that safety group. Otherwise, these are moves that I anticipated them making. We'll see how they fill the practice squad out after they reach their initial 53 on Tuesday. But I think the big moves you'll be looking for might be at, say, if they keep a third quarterback, right? Or depending what they do in the secondary in certain spots, and if they keep a 10th offensive lineman.
Zach, give me your general assessment of what you saw in that last preseason game, because as we've been talking about, there should have been a lot more guys playing with more of a sense of urgency in terms of trying to make this team. And I thought there was a lot of lack of effort across the board from some of these guys, which is making it easier in some regard for the Eagles to make cuts, but also making it more difficult because some of these guys, we thought they would be solid backup type players.
Yeah, it was a bad effort, right? Or I'm sorry, it was a bad performance. I should say. I'm always careful to assess effort, right? It's hard for me to ascertain that. But what you expect them to play better than they did, and frankly, it's not just Miami's first teamers going up against the Eagles' second teamers and third teamers. You can't say that because in the second half you saw a similar type of results. In my decade covering this team, I've learned not to overstate the preseason. And I found very little correlation between preseason performance and regular season performance. But to your point, D-Gun, there were a lot of players there who they're playing for jobs. That's how the Eagles structured this preseason, is they used practices to prepare the top of the roster, and they use preseason games to evaluate the bottom of the roster. And there are a lot of guys who could have and perhaps should have had better showings.
When you look at their situation at the safety position, do you see Reed Blankenship, Kvon, Wallace, are the guys that will be on the squad, or which one of those guys you think they'll keep? Which guy you think they'll let go?
Yeah, that's a tough one, Barrett. That's a pivot point one. And I went with Kvon Wallace in that case. I did not go with Reed Blankenship. But based on performance, you can make a very strong case for Reed Blankenship.
Absolutely.
No question.
The reason I said Kvon Wallace, there's a few things there. First off, he was a key special teams player for the Eagles last year, right? That's something you need to look at. If you simply look at the final preseason game the postseason game last year against Tampa Bay, he was in top 5 snaps for special teams, right? So he's someone that they rely on there. And frankly, I haven't seen read Blankenship enough in those situations. And when you look at first team kickoff the other night, I believe Kvon Wallace was on the field. That said, special teams, I don't want to say it's easy to insert one for the other, but it's not like there's complex schemes there. So if Blankenship's the guy over Wallace, they can get Blankenship ready for that. But special teams and maybe some untapped potential is why I went with Kvon Wallace.
Zach, let me stay on that for a minute with special teams because, Jake Elliott aside, we know what a year he had. What a phenomenal year. Sippo's very much a question mark for me. And just the return game, coverage units, maybe not as much, but it feels like that's an area where Howie had such a good offseason and addressed so many things, and they got so deep with significant players. I feel like that was, to an extent, overlooked. Do you agree with that?
Good. It's a fair question. I wouldn't say overlook. I think it's more a philosophical approach to the roster, right? During Chip Kelly's time here, Chip really looked at, say, the bottom 10 spots, if you will, on the roster as special teams players. He wanted guys like Chris Maragos, and you go on down the list. They had Trey Burton came in for special teams, but when Brad Smith was here and Seje Ajiarotu, there were a few different guys there who were there expressly for special teams. Brian Brayman. The way the Eagles have built the roster in Howie 2.0, if you want to call it that, is to use those bottom spots more for developmental purposes, right? The reason they carried Jordan Mailata on the team as long as they did was because they viewed him as a developmental player. Davion Taylor was has been a developmental player, and they like to devote those back of roster spots more for development than maybe a second or third contract player who helps you on special teams.
I like what you said as far as guys being on the bottom half of the roster. I know there's a lot of spots that in this new NFL that they say don't have that. A lot of teams don't have that player they deem just a practice squad guy. Give me a couple that you say will make it just because of their prowess. I know Sean Bradley and right now Kvon Wallace are the two top ones for me. Who would you say as far as returners would be up in that list?
Yeah, returner's tricky, Barrett, because going into this summer, I thought Britton Covey had a chance to really establish himself as the lead returner because he can return kicks and punts. And so you can, in essence, save a roster spot or combine those in the two. I don't think Covey did enough to differentiate himself in that area. So I think barring them adding somebody else, you'll see Quez Watkins return kickoffs and Jalen Reagor return punts. That said, returner can be a fairly fungible spot where you can add somebody if one becomes available. But if I had to look at their roster now, I would say you would have Watkins on kicks and Reagor on punts.
Don't say it, Zach. Please don't tell me Reagor's returning punts. Please don't say
another
it.
Guy.
Don't say it,
trying
Zach.
To get some sense into you that Reagor will be here, Derek. Yes, he will.
No, I've said consistently I don't think he'll be here. Those two said that he's going to make the roster. Okay. I said that he's had more than enough opportunities and hasn't taken advantage of the opportunities given to make this team. Now, I understand a receiver's only good as the amount of times a quarterback can get him the ball and give him opportunities. But for some reason, he's been an afterthought this entire training camp in a lot of ways. And I just don't see them. If there was ever a time, Zach, here's the way I put it, Zach. If there was ever a time Howie could get out from under a top draft pick early in his career, this year would be it because of so much excitement revolving around the addition of Adrian Brown, the development of Devonta Smith, adding Hassan Reddick and James Bradbury. All of those headlines overshadow him being ushered out the back door.
Yeah, so I hear you, and I'm not going to get on here and be a Jalen Reagor defender, right? I mean, we've all seen what's happened during these past 2 years. I do think he's had a good summer based on the way he's played in camp. I don't expect him to be cut. Okay. I could see him getting traded, and he profiles to me as a change of scenery type guy. If you're a different team, you look at all that's happened in Philadelphia during the past 2 years, and you say maybe he just needs to be somewhere else. But if the Eagles can't find a trade for him, I expect him to be back, and I expect him to be returning punts. Now there's a question there because, look, the first part of returning punts is catching the ball. And he had a very costly play in that Tampa Bay game last year. and it wasn't a one-off. You know, we've seen it before, so he needs to be consistent in that area. But I would say, and we saw this in Green Bay in 2020, and you saw this on his TCU tape, when the ball's in his hands in the punt return game, he has the chance to be dynamic.
Zach, where do you fall? We had the discussion a little bit earlier on the rest versus, you know, these guys out there. I think you can make an argument both sides. We saw maybe the Steelers dodge a couple of bullets yesterday with big time players who got hurt, but it doesn't look like it's very serious. We see guys like Brady out there, but the Eagles' primary objective, it seems like for the most part, is, man, we want to get to week 1 healthy, and we'll figure everything else out there. Where do you fall on that?
Well, that's an organizational philosophy, right? I mean, I remember talking to someone a few years ago upstairs and asking them what they wanted to see out of camp, and they said they want to get every starter on the field in week 1. And look, I get it. It's a matter of taste. Sean McVay with the Rams doesn't play his guys in the preseason. They won the Super Bowl last year. Other coaches, you know, you mentioned Mike Tomlin, but beyond that, we've seen starters in the preseason. Andy Reid always kind of had a formula for how to approach the preseason. So it's a matter of taste. What I'll say this: if you choose this route, you can't come out flat week 1. You can't come out flat in September, and you can't say in October and November that these guys just need to get some time together, and you know, and they were sorting things out early in the season. It doesn't work that way. But I think personally, so you asked my opinion, I think the preseason can be overrated from a preparation standpoint. And the reason I answer that is because in 2020, there was no preseason. And, you know, there were no mini camps that year. And I didn't think the product suffered significantly or much at all, frankly, that year. So preseason really helps. You're down the roster guys. But I would say Barrett can speak to this more than anyone else. Some of these guys, you know, can step on the field on September 11th and be ready to play.
Yeah, you absolutely. But you got to be a guy that, you know, take care of your business. But I digress because I saw a lot of guys half-assing it. But you know, I'm not gonna say anything about it. But when we're, you know, I'm a trench guy. I love the trenches. How many offensive linemen you think they keep this year as opposed to years past? You know, I thought 9 would be good. You know, I have a lot of people saying 10 this year.
Yeah, so I think 10 because I think they have the talent to keep 10, right? Like, I don't think they're pushing it. Whether you're looking at Jack Anderson, someone who can play 3 spots on the interior, when you're looking at Coyote Awashika, someone who could play tackle or guard, they have some candidates there for the 10th lineman. Now, they could also go deeper in other spots and 9 on the offensive line, knowing that Brett Toth is eligible to return from PUP in a few weeks, but you need to know where he is health-wise in order to do that.
Yeah, and that's good stuff. Zach, I know you got to run, but thanks for squeezing us in, man. Giving us a couple minutes today. Always tell everybody, check out Zach's work at The Athletic on Twitter as well, at ZBerm. And always great talking to you, Zach. We're looking forward to chatting with you throughout the season. Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. You got it. All right, you guys want to run through it? Zach's the best, by the way. Just absolute.
Very informative, you know.
Yeah, man. Pros.
Well thought out. Yes.
Yeah, you name it. All right, let's run through it, Barry. Let's start on the offensive side. And Derek, you ready to go? Let's do this thing. Are there going to be more than just the 1-2 at the quarterback position? We know it's Jalen Hurts. We know it's Gardner Minshew. We've already heard that Carson Strong's out, but does Reed Sinnett make this team? And is he the practice squad guy if he does? Because I got to tell you, other than the throw to Devin Allen, who is the fastest man in the universe, I saw nothing from Reed Sinnett. But where do you fall with Reed Sinnett?
No, I don't see Reed Sinnett making the squad. No. I don't see him on the practice squad either. I think they keep Carson Strong on the practice squad, stay with 2 quarterbacks for the regular season.
How about you, Derek?
Don't be surprised if they go out and get a young quarterback from somewhere else, cut off of somebody else's roster. Obviously, Strong hasn't had the opportunities. I've seen enough of Sinnett. And I've seen Eagles do this in the past, you know, bring in a young quarterback, didn't like him, and all of a sudden go out and get somebody else's quarterback. So if you're going to twist my arm, I would lean more towards Strong based on the fact that maybe they feel they can develop him. But if they get rid of both, I think they're going to look at some other quarterbacks as well that are going to be released tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Let's go running back. We've already heard that Huntley is going to be cut, so that kind of changes the game a little bit. We know who the first 3 are. We'll talk about Miles Sanders in a second, but we know the first 3 are Sanders, Scott, Gainwell, Locke. Does this mean Kennedy Brooks makes it, or they're just keeping 3?
To me, I think they're just keeping 3.
Okay.
I think Huntley's back on the practice squad if somebody didn't pick him up. If they do pick him up, then I think Kennedy Brooks will be on the practice squad. They're going to this year with 3 guys because 3 guys can play special teams, and I don't take with the equation that Boston Scott can return kicks also, so he can be a kickoff return for him. But the likelihood of keeping a guy just for kickoff return, and that would have been Jason Huntley's only
solely for that. Yeah.
How many kickoff returns do you have, in a game? They might get one an entire game. They might go 3 games without even returning a kickoff, So I just didn't see his worth doing enough. Even with that long run, it was more so an assignment bust and just bad angles.
Poor tackling, too. Yeah. I mean, they were tackling him up here. He basically just threw the guy off. And it was a nice run. I'm not going to take it away.
Right. So, I mean, that for me, that's, he's just not going to be, his worth isn't what it used to be. So Kenny could be on the practice squad. Kenny Brooks could be on the practice squad.
Chris D, I can't argue with that. I got a little shot, but I agree. Reed said it did not impress. That's for sure. All right, so that's quarterback. That's running back. Here we go. Let's go receiver. We know the locks, right? We know AJ. We know
all
Devontae.
5 of them.
Yeah, Quez.
All 5 locks.
Pascal. I love where you're going already. All right, so we get past Devontae, AJ, Quez, and Zach Pascal. That leaves us with
the other lock. The other lock.
Kane, Covey, Ward, Devin Allen, D. Gunn. Listen up, Barrett. Who was that last spot?
We already said it. I mean, they're going 5 receivers, and just because it's so many, ways you have to go on defense. So, Jalen Reagor makes the squad, man.
Derek's going to be crowing so badly if they do cut Reagor. We're never going to hear the end of it.
No, I'm not going to say anything. I mean, if he makes it, he makes it. But I'm just saying, you asked all summer, you've asked me my opinion about why Reagor should not make this team. Reagor has shown me very little in training camp, very little in preseason games. So that's why I have stuck to my gun.
Derek,
what?
One time did we ask you to make sense of this.
to make what?
To make sense of this. We all know that it makes no sense for him to be on the squad, but we're just being realistic, man. Realistically,
I get that.
He shouldn't be on the squad, but he is going to be on the squad.
You know what? And if you're right, you're right. But I'm not going to change my opinion that it's going to be a tough decision for Howie to make to let go of Jalen Reagor, especially when you consider they are proud of themselves as an organization, how their last few draft picks have gone, and he's heard the battle cries about you took him over Justin Jefferson, and he wants to give him in every chance possible. But now that you have A.J. Brown in the fold, that slides the equation in a different direction, and you have the opportunity. And like I said, Deion Kane showed me something one game. I'm singing his praises. All of a sudden, this past game, I'm like, uh-oh.
Who is this guy?
Oh, is this Travis Fulgham part 2?
Right.
But I'm still going to stick to my gun. I still think Deion Kane has the potential to be what Jalen Reagor has not been to this organization. And so until the official cuts come out, I'm going to stick to my gun and say I'm still leaning more Kane than Reagor.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So
you're just going to bite your nose off to spite your face. Huh?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
He's going to die on the Reagor hill.
I'll be a lonely man on top of that hill, but I'm going to die on that hill. Yes.
This one feels a little more cut and dry. Tell me if you guys disagree. Tight end. Goddard, Stoll, Calcaterra, despite missing a good amount of time in camp. Jackson on the IR, and then we'll figure it out till he's able to get back. But we mentioned Noah Togiagi. He didn't help himself too much. But is that the way you guys see it shaking out at tight end?
Yeah.
All right, that one.
It's a slam dunk.
Yeah, I see Richard Rodgers possibly making this roster again.
He's always hanging around, man.
He's a hang arounder.
He's only 30 years old.
Is he only 30?
He's only 30. Yep.
Wow.
He's only 30?
Yeah.
I would have gone like 34.
Me too.
Yeah. He's only 30 years old. And
what year is this for him?
In the league, 7 or 8.
Damn.
I got to look that up, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I feel like he was like playing with Favre before Rodgers even got to Green Bay. He's been around.
He is only 30 years old.
Yep.
Man.
He was drafted in 2014, 3rd round pick, Green Bay, 2014.
Wow. It feels like he's been in the league a lot longer than that. Okay.
Derek, I cannot believe that, man.
I'm telling you. See, that's what I'm thinking. He's gonna be a safety valve for this team. He's a decent blocker. He's a decent pass catcher. Now, when Tyree Jackson, if and when Tyree Jackson is ever healthy, I think that shakes up the apple cart, because I think Tyree Jackson has the potential to be a solid tight end in the National Football League. Just can't get him healthy.
Where's that leave Calcaterra, though? Is he a practice squad guy in your estimation?
No, I think right now, I think right now he makes this team. I mean, he shows a lot of potential. Even though he's been limited, I think he shows a lot of potential.
Well, he can catch the ball, and he's got speed.
Yes, he can. Yeah. Now, he's got to work on his blocking game, but then again, what young tight end doesn't have to work on his blocking game at the end?
And that's why Stoll's there. I mean, Stoll.
Yes, why Stoll's there. They'll probably keep 3 tight ends. Okay. At least 3 tight ends.
Okay. Offensive line. So we know the starters. Mailata and Lane Johnson are your tackles. Dickerson, Samalu are your guards. Kelsey, at least you hope, is going to be able to start week 1. The lock backup at center is Juergens. That much we know. This is where it gets interesting.
Wow.
I'll throw names at you. You tell me yes, no. Jack Driscoll. I think he's a lock.
Yep.
Lock.
As one of the backups. So Opeda.
Yep.
Lock.
Okay. Dillard.
Yep.
Okay. Jack Anderson.
Yep.
Lock.
Okay.
How many is that? 5?
Yeah, I mean we're getting up there now.
That's 10. That's all. That's all.
That's it.
That's it.
Everybody else is gone.
Yeah, LaRaven Clark goes. He gets cut. I don't
know. John Sills.
Coyote Ugly. I mean Coyote.
Barrett's favorite guy has been talking about since June. Awusika.
Yes.
Awusika. Yeah. Awusika is actually Awusika.
Is it Awusika? Okay.
Yeah, Coyote Awusika, practice squad guy.
Okay.
Tom leaves. Cameron, he's already cut. Josh Sills, he's gone.
What about Brett Toth?
He's still
hurt.
Yeah, he's still on.
He's hurt.
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about cutting. It's not a cut issue.
Yeah. So I mean, the only way they keep 9 is if they cut Jack Anderson. But I think they like Jack Anderson too much.
I think they like Anderson too.
Yeah, he plays all 3 positions: center, guard, and tackle. So they'll keep him around. But other than that, man, it's these guys will be on a practice squad. So that's 10. That's 10 guys right there. So you got Cam Juergens, Jack Anderson, Jack Driscoll, Opeda, and Andre Dillard all make the squad. Everybody after that, Clark, Sills, Tom, Awusika, they get cut.
Okay. All right. We'll jump over to the other side now. Let's go defensive line.
This is hard right here.
Yeah. There's a few we can lock in. Fletcher.
Yep.
Hargrave.
Yep.
Jordan Davis.
Yep.
Milton
Barnett.
Williams.
Yep.
Sweat.
Yep.
Brandon Graham. All right. We're agreed.
Yep.
Locks. Okay.
Locks.
Here's where it gets
Oh,
interesting.
you didn't say Barnett. Oh,
yeah. You're right. Derek Barnett. He is a lock. I agree with that.
Just because of money.
Yeah. I just missed them. All right. I think Tyree Jackson makes the team.
Yes.
I agree.
Tui Pilata, did he do enough? They like him.
Tuipulotu, they like him, but I think he gets cut.
Okay.
Practice squad.
Yeah, practice squad candidate. Makes sense.
Marvin Wilson gets cut.
Wilson. That's it. And we already know Ren, he's gone.
Then Matt Leo will be cut, put on practice squad.
Yeah.
And that's it, right?
Yep.
That's it. Okay. So they likely keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 D linemen, and that's not counting Reddick.
Wow.
And that's like Sweat, Graham, Jackson are edge guys.
Yes.
They pick them as edge guys. If you look at the interior, it's Williams, Davis, Hargrave, and Fletcher Cox are the interior guys.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's run through linebacker then. Hassan Reddick, and again, I know he's a hybrid, but for our purposes, linebacker Reddick, Edwards, Kaiser White, Nakobe Dean. This is where we starts to get in, and I'm going to throw Sean Bradley in there.
There's a lock. Yes.
Patrick Johnson.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, I agree. Yep.
Kyron Johnson.
No. Practice squad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
So how many linebackers is that?
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 linebackers.
That's counting Bradley and counting Reddick as a linebacker.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why
there's some numbers crunches here, man. There's some numbers crunches here. All right, cornerback. Slay, Bradbury, Maddox, boom, boom, boom.
Cut them all except the starters.
Slay, Bradbury,
Scott.
Maddox.
Does Josiah Scott make it?
Yes, Scott makes it.
Josh
McPherson makes it.
You think McPherson makes it?
Yeah.
Over Job?
Yes.
Okay.
And then safeties.
Safeties, Epps, Harris. Now, here's the one. Does Kvon Wallace make this team?
That's tough because, I mean, it's between three guys. Andre Shea-Sherray.
Shea-Sherray, who's a good special teamer.
Yep. Reed Blankenship and Kvon Wallace.
And we know Tart's gone for people who are just joining us.
Yeah, he's not even on the depth chart anymore.
They've already removed him from the depth chart?
Yeah, but he's still in the roster listings, but he's not on the depth chart anymore. That's weird.
Blankenship feeling more like a roster or a practice squad?
Practice squad.
Okay. Shea-Sherray?
Shea-Sherray. He doesn't make the squad, and I think he's going to be on a practice squad. There's 15 people in the practice squad. 16 people. Yeah. You know, so he'll be one of those practice squad guys. Blankenship will be a practice squad guy. Kyron Johnson will be a practice squad guy. I think Vincent Jr. will be a practice squad guy.
Interesting.
You think why do you think he makes it as a practice squad? Because he hasn't had a good camp.
No, he hasn't had a good camp, but they like his size. He's a big corner. You know what I'm saying? They like his size.
Okay.
I mean, he's 5'10", 190. I mean, I don't know what they see in him, but they like him a lot.
Well, here's the thing. We are not, when we're running through this, we're not counting is, how we trade. He hardly ever goes through a preseason without making a deal. It feels like something's coming for me.
You're right.
Special teams, returner, I don't know. It feels like something.
If anything, it'll be a safety.
Yeah, maybe.
He's going to trade for a safety. This is going to be a hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's still going to be a hard cut. You know, we thought after the game that it'd be easy to cut guys. It's still not easy to cut these guys because
no.
I mean, how much of a resource? How many guys you keep? Going because you can only dress. I think it's 46 or 47. 47 guys going into a game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you keep 47 guys, which one of these guys you say, all right, we're gonna dress you, and you, like especially the D line position.
Yeah.
D line and O line. That's a lot of guys, a lot of extra guys. That's why I said there's only gonna be 2 quarterbacks. It's only gonna be three running backs. It's only gonna be 5 wide receivers because they got to carry extra, especially with the overhang guys at linebacker / D end, keeping those guys. There's only really 4 interior defensive linemen. That's Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, and Javon Hargrave. That's 4 guys. You got to rotate 4 guys. That's tough, Then you got to look at Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, and Tyree Jackson.
Yeah,
as the 4 defensive ends.
Mm-hmm.
When you do run 4 down, then you have the overhang guys. You're going to keep 2 overhang guys. And to me, that's Hassan Reddick and Patrick Johnson. Kyron is just going to be a guy that's going to be on a practice squad.
So you're considering Brandon strictly a DN in this exercise? Like, what's Graham? Okay.
A DN, yes.
Okay.
I say he's a DN. I say Josh Sweat is a DN. Derek Barnett is a DN. And Tyree Jackson is a DN.
Okay.
So it's 4 guys there.
Looking at Bear's practice squad, I think Bear put like 23 guys on the practice squad.
He got a special exemption because the Eagles have so much depth.
No, actually,
the league said, "All right, we'll give you 7 more, man. You're good."
Actually, it's 10. It's only 10. That's only 10 guys I have on practice.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Well, I just it's a good problem to have, right? Because some of these guys will definitely be snapped up, I think, by other NFL teams.
You're right.
For sure. But you may potentially lose some guy who can play. That's the other part of only playing 3 preseason games, and maybe some of these guys aren't getting the looks that they would normally get. Somebody might slip through the cracks, and if they do, shame on you because you've had them in practice every day too. I get that, but it's something else to consider here.
Well, I just got a text from Dan Celio. He says you're right, just bullshit effort, especially if you're trying to make the team. a lot of these guys didn't help themselves because it was a BS effort. It was a BS
Exactly.
effort, bro.
That's what I'm saying. There was no sense of urgency. I'm sitting there waiting going, okay, even though they were playing the ones, first of all, okay, they were playing Miami's ones. Here's what bothered me the most is when Tua was in the game, they kept rolling that rollback sprint out the whole game.
Oh, they bid on it every time.
Now, one time did a DN on the opposite side or an outside linebacker stay in containment.
Nope.
They bit on it every time.
That's coach though, man.
That's coaching. Yes.
And I saw it in the preseason. They want their defensive ends to go down the line and pursue to stop.
Why? Because if a team figures that out, dude, they're gonna have the whole backside of the field wide open. Quarterback's got 3 options on the backside, man.
They have not figured that out in the last 5-6 years.
That's unbelievable.
That's coaching. And because they want that backside. They don't have a lot of faith in their linebackers holding their gap in the backside. So
but you got a different breed of linebacker now, dude. You got to teach it. You got Kazir White almost. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You got a different breed of linebackers now. You have veteran DNs, not rookie DNs. You have veteran DNs out there on the edges now.
Right.
You got to. Did you see how long Tua was standing there patting the ball, waiting for somebody to free up either the underneath route or to go down the field with the ball?
Yeah, it was really
ridiculous.
You know, and I know people are like, well, you don't necessarily draw a correlation between the preseason, but whatever. When there is an effort there, and your whole mantra is we're going to outwork everybody. We have the dog mentality.
Yeah.
And I know how Nick has spun it publicly. If he wasn't lighting them up after that game, I understand it's futile. Some of the guys aren't going to be here. I'm not getting that cranked up. I'm just saying from an effort standpoint, I can live with Tyreek Hill blowing past the guy who's a number 2 or number 3 because he's not talented enough. But there were too many plays where they weren't trying in that game.
That's the most damning thing right there, and that's why me and Seals, come from the same school of you can't coach effort. Either you got it or you don't. And fatigue makes a coward of everybody. And when you start getting tired, that's when you'll know it all comes out. And what I saw this last game was a lot of cowards out there because they just weren't giving max effort, man. Give it all, man. Give it all. When you're out there, give it all. Don't stop. Just give it all.
Well, I think where it also plays into this, right, is were they not giving max effort because they were too tired? Does that go back to these short practices? They're not playing as much in preseason games. And what's that going to look like 13 days from now? Are they suddenly going to be in shape enough to be able to go when it's real time?
Have I not been screaming that for the past 2.5 weeks?
Yeah.
That's all I've been saying for the 2.5 weeks. You got to get in shape. You got to make sure your body you got to hit the point of fatigue during practice. And then that's when you go out there and run more to get your body past it. People don't understand when you lift weights, the reason you get stronger is you have to break down tissue. You have to break down muscle tissue. Break it down so it can grow back stronger. That's what lifting weight does. In order for you got to go to exhaustion so your body knows what it feels like to be exhausted. And then you figure that you can push forward even more. That's when you start getting in better shape, when you can press past the feeling of being totally exhausted and then give extra at the lap.
But the current collective bargaining agreement negates that. I agree with you 100%. But the collective bargaining agreement limits how much you can practice.
Right.
You exceed it, teams getting fined. Nobody wants to be fined. If you do it too much, you lose draft picks. Nobody wants to lose draft picks.
That's why I said, who's running after practice? Who's running before practice? That's what I want to see. Right. I just said it today. I want to see what players are running. Like, it was a point where when I really understood that I had to take advantage of my body is when I got my second year in Detroit. And we practiced in the dome, so we didn't get out in the elements a lot. So I would make sure that I would run before practice, get tired before practice. And that way I'm in practice, I'm tired. So when I go through practice, I can push past the point of, all right, I'm exhausted, and now I know I can give more.
Right.
And then I run after practice to make sure of that, just to be in shape. I may have been fat, but I was still in shape, though.
No.
It might have been a round shape, but it was a well conditioned round.
Big
shape.
boned.
Yeah.
We prefer. Big
big boned it. Big boned it.
Big boned.
Yeah.
Stocky.
Yeah.
That's what we
go.
like.
Husky. Yeah. What would you say? The husky pants? The huskies?
The husky. Yeah, you get it at Sears.
I wore my fair share.
Tough skins. The tough skins.
The tough skins.
You can wash them 1,000 times,
and
they'd still say that new blue. They still say that new blue, man.
You could slide on cement, and you wouldn't even see a mark on those pants. I'm telling you, man. They were indestructible.
Yeah, they were.
They were unbelievable. All right, so we'll come back. Remember those? All right, so we come back. We'll continue to update you if we're hearing anything in regards to any more cuts, Eagles-wise and around the league with some notable names. We will pass those along. Some teams, it feels like it's happening fast and furious, and other teams have been really quiet. So, we'll keep you posted. We'll get into some of the interest. Some crazy stuff, man. The Brian Robinson story, just nuts.
Wow.
Kenny Galladay, we'll get into him, Sam Darnold, Tyrod Taylor's injury, former great assistant coach in the NFL, passed away at the age of 86 years old. We'll cover that as well. But we have to deal with the Matt Araiza situation, just brutal all around. We'll talk about that as well. We'll get into some Phillies also who dropped yesterday but had a real good recovery after that Mets series. They're on the road tonight against Arizona, and then they go out to San Francisco. So we'll do all of that. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk Razor Technology. Yeah, let's do it. Razor Technology's comprehensive managed service provider solution delivers constant monitoring, on-demand assistance, and rapid issue resolution. Through data-vetted and insight-driven implementation, we strengthen our existing IT resources with both human power and expertise that reduces security risks and downtime while enhancing organizational efficiency and productivity. We are a strategic resource for adaptive and fast-growing companies that need help selecting, implementing, and managing their IT services. Our goal is always bigger than one project, one problem, or one upgrade. It's improving the overall functioning of our partners and helping them achieve their business objectives through an ongoing synergistic relationship. Give your IT team the freedom to refocus by augmenting their reach with Razor Technology. Contact Razor Technology today to learn how our managed services can protect and enhance your business by giving them a call at 866-797-3282. That's 866-797-3282. Or visit online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Go for the pulls and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
We are back. Thank you for hanging with us today. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis with you on this Monday Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Hey, I didn't get a chance to do this off the top of the show. And Xander, I'll need the full lineup graphic, if you will, for what we're doing here at JAKIB Sports YouTube Network and JAKIBsports.com. Our entire channel is just crushing it right now. I mean, guys, we have programming starting at 7 a.m. Our guy Jeff Kerr made his debut with Good Morning NFC East. And then we roll right into Rick Saratella before us, after Birds 365, then Rick before us, and then us and Sills. But check this out. Check out this lineup that we are rolling out every single day. If you weren't aware, you get your fix beginning at 7 a.m. So we have Good Morning NFC East, Birds 365 with Jody and John. Then the Football Playbook with Rick Saratella. Then it's us, and then it is Dan Cilio after us. And we're going to have programming even after that, starting at 6 p.m. So, I mean, we literally have your entire day blocked off, man, if you're just looking for great stuff. It is, it's awesome. I got a chance to tune into a little bit of Jeff, a little bit of 365, and a little bit of the playbook this morning, man, just the primer for everything that we're going to do. But awesome work by the guys, and congratulations on them and getting shows on the network. I know we're all pumped, man. We couldn't be more excited. Muted, Derek.
The family tree is growing strong, man. It
Amen.
continues to grow.
Yep.
The JAKIB Media Posse, man, is making a name for itself in this region, and I'm not surprised. It's not surprised. I mean, we knew it was coming. Think about how long we talked about doing this show before Christmas. It all started.
Yeah,
and it was yes, no because of scheduling and everything, but because of our friendship and because of what we knew we could do. Mm-hmm. We pushed and we found a way to whittle it down and to make it happen. And here we are today, man. And now look how it keeps expanding. And
it's just going to get stronger. Yep.
We didn't even talk about the names on the post-game show. Seth Joyner, Mike Missinelli. Who would have thought a year ago those names would be a part of this network,
Amen.
And now, and Lane Johnson joining us post-game after every game. So, stay tuned because more surprises are coming.
Yep. Pre-game is going to be a killer. I mean, the whole day, Sunday is going to be wild. It's not just during the week, man. So it is. We are at what was Nick Sirianni? A plant? What was it? What was the whole analogy?
Plant the seed,
flowers.
Flowers.
That's us, man.
Flowers, yeah.
We're just blooming all over the place. That's for sure. And again, anything we get here in terms of any additional cuts that we're hearing that are being reported, anything like that, we will pass those along. From the Eagles. I'll give you a little one. The Titans cut their punter, Brett Kern, who has been there, I think, since like 2009. It's a
Bring him here.
Move. Yeah, right. Good point, Derek.
Yeah, bring him here.
Really
we need a punter.
Yep. I think anything's possible at this point. So there's that. I did want to we'll jump right back into the football stuff and some of the things that went down over the weekend. Watched a lot of preseason football yesterday. Really, the only game on yesterday was the Jets and the Giants.
Right.
For some reason, man, I've seen a lot of Jets and Giants this preseason. I don't know about you guys. It feels like every time I flip on the NFL Network, it's the other game. I'm sorry, that was the other game that was on was Pittsburgh and the later game. The Steelers were later, but the early game was the Jets and the Giants. Too much of them. Actually, both of those two teams. All right, Phillies. So they lose yesterday, guys, 5-0, the last game of that series. They take 2 or 3 from Pittsburgh, and they end up 7-4 on a homestand where they lost 2 out of the first 3 to the Mets. So they recovered pretty nicely. They didn't have it. Syndergaard wasn't great. The offense was asleep. Contreras, who pitched for the Pirates, pitched extremely well. I thought his slider was nasty. Only one Philly had a multiple hit game. That was Vierling. It's the 12th time they've been shut out this season. Did you realize I had this discussion yesterday with Dan Wilson, who produces my show at WIP. Phillies have been involved in 25 shutouts this year. They've been shut out 12 times, and they shut out the opponent 13 times.
Yeah.
That's a lot, man. And
Yes,
we're only, what are we, 128 games in, 128 games in, and they've been involved in 25 shutouts. That's pretty crazy.
You know why, right? When you're a team that both basically lives and dies off of scoring and batting, it's feast or famine. You know, when you're a team built off pitching, you're always in it because, you know, you're going to keep the score down. You know what I mean? So it's more so pitching is more consistently able to win games. You know, defense wins championship. It's more so in baseball than it is in any other sport, you know. I mean, you can have the most live bats in the world, and all of a sudden it doesn't seem like just, you know, one bat stops. It seems like the entire roster stops, you know, at one time. And that's why we've been shut out so much. But then when we're hot, we're blazing. We're beating people, you know, 6-0, 7-0, you know. Yeah. So it's tough to have an offensive-minded, offensive-built team and think that you're going to, you know, not get shut out. You know, even though our pitching has gotten better, that's not what we came into this season thinking. We came into this thing thinking we had a dull bullpen. You know, not so bad, but dull. Well, they turned out to be a little better than we thought, you know, but still, you know, it's this team was constructed like that.
Fair enough, man. So they're 2.5 games up on that second wild card spot, and they will go to Arizona and San Francisco, two teams who are under 500. Not easy places to go and play, mind you. This is not the Pirates and the Reds. It's going to be a much, greater challenge for them in these up to two coming series. So here's what they have beyond that. I'll give you that, and we'll jump back to football. They're at Arizona for 3, at San Fran for 3, off day on Monday. They're off Thursday and Monday, by the way. They're back home then for 3 against Miami, 3 against Washington. Then they go to Miami. Then their schedule gets a lot tougher at Atlanta, Toronto here, Atlanta here, before it softens up a little bit. So that's what the Phillies have coming up. They're hoping that they're going to have Wheeler back soon. They're hoping that they're going to have Sir Anthony back soon. If they get those two guys back, I really like their chances. Of course, Bryce Harper returned this weekend, had the big hit Friday night. He is a guy for the moment, that's for sure. Gets a hit in his first at bat, drives in 2, and the place went bananas. So Harper back certainly helps everything, that's for sure. So plenty of Phillies. All right, Eagles-wise, we've been discussing the roster and the cut down, which is tomorrow at 4 o'clock. But as it always seems to happen, there's drips and drabs of stuff coming out. So if you're just joining us, so what we're hearing right now, and this is from multiple different outlets and sources, Jaquiski Tart, safety, will be cut. Cameron Tom, offensive lineman, will be cut. Carson Strong, quarterback, can be cut. Now, mind you, all these people could end up, at least some of them could end up on the practice squad. Jason Huntley, running back, going to be cut. Wren, defensive tackle, going to be cut. Did I miss any?
No.
We've heard
that
thus
was
far?
It. No.
All right. So that's kind of where we're at right now with who's out. I can't say any of those are shockers. I mean, Tart, you expect it was going to make this team when they signed him from San Francisco. But the way he's played and how he kind of hasn't been here either, I don't think any of those are really surprising.
No, and I said when they brought Tart in, I was wondering, my biggest question was, why did the 49ers let him go?
Yes.
When you play in a defensive scheme like the 49ers and you're still in the prime of your career, what is it that he's lacking? Because as I said a couple of weeks ago, they went out and got Deshaun Gibson. They got rid of a guy who already was in their system, knew the system, playing for a rugged defense. They let him go back in the spring, and then they go out and get another veteran to fill the gaps in on the back end of the defense. So I thought Tart was iffy coming in, Yeah,
you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So now, from what we're hearing, he's not going to be here. So I'm not surprised that he didn't make this team.
What I saw from Tart was a DB that just didn't have the turnover that I saw, other guys on the squad have. What I mean by turnover, his hip turnover, his hips being able to move fluently, the speed that you need to be if you're a box safety, not necessarily go sideline to sideline, but get to where you need to get there and bring something behind it when you get there. I didn't see that from Tart. I didn't see the speed that you need to be as a starting or even competing safety right now. And, you know, and I would love to sit down and just watch film with him. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, we could, you know, discuss what he's seeing, what I'm seeing, because what I saw was a will linebacker playing and trying to play safety. I didn't necessarily see a guy that could play safety and run as consistently and be that guy. You know, when you got to go out there and you got to cover a slot, that would mean that's 6 all day. You know what I'm saying? That's he just didn't have the not necessarily, well, his foot speed, but change of direction.
Okay.
Quickness. That's the biggest thing. The quickness, the change of direction. He doesn't have it. I didn't see it. That's why I would love to sit down and watch film with him. Maybe he sees something I didn't see. Or he could show me what I'm lacking, you know, as far as, you know, my breakdown and watching and analyzing the game.
No, I don't think it was just you if they're releasing him. Apparently they saw the same thing you saw. You know what I mean? The team. But I guess the question I have is, are they really going to go into the season, guys, with Epps, Harris, and then massive question marks after that?
Unless you pick off somebody on the waiver wire, because veterans are going to be cut.
Coming.
Yeah, veterans are going to be cut. Yeah,
they have to. They have to bring in a guy, you know, that can play from sideline to sideline. Right now, we have Epps is the only deep safety that we have. We got a couple guys we think can play in the box, and I think Harris can play in the box.
Right.
He's quick enough to play in the box. I don't know if he's good enough to be out there at corner. I mean, at slot corner, if he had to go out there and play slot corner. But I mean, I was spoiled from what I had before. I was spoiled because I had Malcolm Jenkins. He could do that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it's unfair for me to think that Anthony Harris can go out there and play at the level of a Malcolm Jenkins, and we haven't found anybody to replace that guy yet.
Mm-hmm.
Can Joshua, Scott, be that guy, be that third safety when they play big nickel, and that way you could have Harris cover tight ends and running backs, and have Josiah Scott being a nickel corner / safety. You could do that. I could see that working. That could be a pretty good lineup. You know what I'm saying? Thinking of Josiah Scott. I mean, he has the feet. He has the ability to be a slot corner. I mean, you don't worry as much. I wouldn't worry as much about if a guy goes into motion and him being able to go out there and cover that guy that's in motion. You know, it'd be hard for me to see Tart follow a guy in motion and be able to use the change direction to go meet him at the point in which he's covering him, or get through and run past somebody to get to him. I don't see that type of quickness with that.
How about because they have 3 really good corners and you feel good about, that cover up some of these warts?
Yes.
I guess is where I'm going with this. Okay.
Yes.
And do they view it that way maybe?
What they view is they got guys that can mix it up front to create havoc up front.
That's what I've been saying.
They don't have to cover as far, but because it's I still think that their covering ability, they could still be more aggressive with the lineup that they have. The starters that they have, they could be still aggressive. Like, people don't understand, they were blitzing Miami in the second half.
Couldn't get home.
Well, trying to get home, quote unquote blitzing.
Right. Well, I know if those guys that are starting can blitz and get there.
Yeah.
I know yesterday none of them could get there. You know, so I was a bit perturbed about that. You know, it didn't look good. It didn't look good at all.
If you have a lethal front 7 on defense, it can cover up a lot of your deficiencies on the back end.
Yes.
And I've seen it happen time and time again with too many teams. You make average corners and average safeties look like Pro Bowlers on the back end because they don't have to cover as long. They don't have to come up make as many tackles because your front 7 is like rock solid.
Right.
You know, but I still have question marks how this unit is going to be utilized by that defensive coordinator. I still have major reservations about this.
I'm telling you, man, Gannon is a lightning rod. There are people ready to pounce. Like, if this defense isn't exceptional, it's gonna come down hard on him. I'm telling you right now.
With them playing Detroit, I keep thinking of the line from from the movie. Denzel Washington was a head coach. The football movie.
Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. In the second half of that game, where the coach says, "You blitz all night long, and let them remember the night they played the Eagles." That's what I'm telling you. You guys getting paid a lot of money. You blitz all night on Jared Goff until you make him beat you. Because I don't think he can beat us. I don't think the receivers can beat us. And you make the Detroit Lions remember the year they played the Eagles in the season opener.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blitzing all night against Detroit.
No question. No question. Make them because their offensive line is good. So it's not like you just beat them one-on-one. They got a Penei Sewell, Big V. They got a Decker. They got a really sustainable offensive line that can run block and pass block. I can see them being okay. What I question right now is their quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Can he make plays? I mean, they got some receivers.
Yeah.
I don't know if Goff can do it. I mean, he seems pretty confident. You know, he has weapons. He has DeAndre Smith. You know, he's got he has got that, Jamal Williams. You know, he's got St. Brown out there,
who's legit.
Yeah, St. Brown's a bad boy. Yeah.
They got DJ Clark, who's a really good wide receiver also. So
yeah, there's some skill positions there. I'll tell you the other thing I would do is I know the Eagles got A.J. Brown. I would still pound it down their throat. You ran for 246 yards on them last year. Until you show me you can stop it, I'm giving you a healthy dose of that.
Run the ball until they make you. Until they make you do something different.
Until they stop.
Absolutely. All right. Do they get cute though? That's the only thing. Do they get cute?
Yeah, see. Yeah.
Look, you could play action off of it, but I don't think you need to. Look, I would stick with the base. Hey, if the Lions are stuffing the run, okay, then let's open this thing up. But
if I'm Detroit, I'm watching this film of Miami. Hey, look, the Eagles outside containment, they bite on this fake every time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we can run this all day because Jared Goff has mobility. Jared Goff has some mobility, and he has a much stronger arm than Tua. I'll say that. Much stronger arm than Tua.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. All right, we come back. We'll dive into the NFL. We'll go around the league with everything that went down this weekend. We're going to preview Week 16, which is Christmas Eve, which is kind of like a 3-part. There's a Thursday night, Saturday heavy, Sunday. There's actually a Monday too. So it's an interesting weekend and week to get into with all the games that we have on tap. A little later, birthdays. We got all kinds of stuff in store for you. So don't go anywhere. Rob Ellis, Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. I want to tell you about Flynn Tree Services. Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So, do you have any type of issue in your yard or on your property with your trees? If you do, they're just a quick phone call away. They are experts at trimming all types of trees, and they serve southeastern PA, South Jersey, northern Delaware. Flynn Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, as well as tree pruning. Now, keep in mind, we are right now entering that time of year, the storm season, hurricanes, etc. It's a great time to have your trees evaluated. Make sure they're good to go. If you got some trees that are a little bit older, you might want to have some of the branches trimmed back, or you might want to have that thing taken down before it causes any kind of big problems for you. You go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia Dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Go for the poles and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
What's up, everybody? Welcome on back. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network on this Monday. Hope you had a great weekend, everybody. All right, so let's dive into a little NFL, guys. And it's one of those days where there's news kind of just filtering down as we speak, et cetera, et cetera. So Josina Anderson is reporting that Darren Waller is discussing a deal that would make him the highest paid tight end at his position, somewhere in the neighborhood of $16 million a year. Oof. I would have thought tight ends getting that kind of money, man.
Hey, who would have thought wide receivers are getting a bottom tier quarterback money?
Right.
I mean, seriously, that's crazy.
Well, but tight ends have become more than just blockers. The days of Mark Bavaro tight ends are gone right now. These guys are so specialized in what they bring to the table, man. They become actually matchup nightmares now. So, I mean, kudos to them because they've shown the ability to not just be blockers or, every once in a while you hit them on a boot. But these guys are running routes and they're getting, one-on-one routes and winning. So,
hey,
plays designed around them.
Yeah, Gronkowski, Travis Kelce. Man, they opened the doors for tight ends to get paid.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Man.
Yeah, game changer for sure. All right, so let's hit a couple things here, guys. So first off, I feel like, and I hate it, but I feel like every show we're talking about some other just awful story. But the Brian Robinson situation. So apparently he's a 3rd round pick running back out of Alabama for Washington.
Was good last year too.
Yeah, so he goes get something to eat at some like crab place or whatever, and I don't know the full story if he got carjacked or he was just being robbed. He ends up taking 2 bullets, in his leg and his hip. Now he's had surgery. I saw him. He put on his Instagram page, "Hey, thanks for the prayers. I'm doing great. I expect a full recovery." And his spirits apparently are awesome. But my God, man, like this is where this guy can't even go out and get something to eat. Like after practice yesterday.
Isn't that crazy, man?
It's insanity.
That's crazy.
Society we live in, man. Everywhere you go, you have to look over your shoulder. Really? That's the world we live in today. You can't take your family out to a park and just enjoy the park. You got to look around everywhere you go. Grocery store, movie theater.
Yep.
You know,
Wild Wild West, man.
I'm telling you, man, it's ridiculous, man. What we have to deal with in our society nowadays. That's a shame.
Yeah.
You know, you got to worry about somebody taking what you have, you know, because they see that you might have something, whether it's a car or jewelry or something, and they just want to try to take what you have, what you worked for to get.
Yeah.
And put your life in harm's way.
Yeah, your life. Yep. Yeah.
Tell me, man.
I know. Look, the positive, if there's a positive to glean out of this, thankfully, he may even be discharged as early as today. They feel very optimistic that he's going to make a full recovery. Ron Rivera wouldn't even rule out. Now, this is like secondary to his life, but Ron Rivera wouldn't even rule out him maybe coming back this year. So those are good signs for this guy. But
bro, I remember I played with Joey Porter. He got shot in the ass. He came back and played.
I've been shot in the ass many times. I didn't have to play the next day.
That is crazy, man. I mean, it's
no, I hear you.
It's ridiculous. You know, you just can't go. You can't go and enjoy yourself. Like Philly's like the Wild Wild West now. You know, you really and it's so bad. Just things, you know, in general that, you know, Jersey just passed it. You know, you can have a license to carry now. It used to be you couldn't do that. Jeez. Now you can get a license to carry.
Right.
So, you know, it's times are changing, man. You know,
not for the better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not for the better. But again, we're thinking about him, and you know, good news is it appears like he's gonna be okay. Right. So that's the Brian Robbins story. This is another one. I'm gonna just get this over with because it's awful. But the Bills have released Matt Ariza, the punter.
Yeah.
So Brandon Beane spoke he's their general manager. He spoke over the weekend, and basically what he said was this stuff was sealed because it wasn't a criminal complaint. It has now become a civil complaint.
Right.
Therefore, they couldn't get access to it. He said he even reached out to a handful of other teams who were looking to take Ariza potentially, and you know, went through his background, and they didn't have anything on it either. Now, does that excuse the Bills? I don't think it does. They were made aware of this civil suit, and if you're not familiar with it, he's accused of taking part in a gang rape.
Yes.
So
and he's already said that he did have sex with the girl, right, but he states that it was consensual. In fact, I think they said that he started it, and then things got out of hand after that.
Yes.
So it's ridiculous. But you know what we are talking about is he wasn't a player in the NFL then, though.
No, he was still in college.
So how can the NFL rule anything about this right now?
Yeah,
but the NFL does. Every team has security people. They do background checks. Plus, they hire a lot of them hire independent investigative firms to do background checks. I guarantee you, Big Dom of the Eagles would have known this stuff about this kid. I guarantee you, Big Dom and his people would have known.
Yeah.
The history of this guy.
Yeah, it's and he's denying. I know he's denying it. He said they. So Barrett, what you were referencing. Apparently, the Jane Doe, they're not giving her name out. She was underage. She was 17. He was 21 at the time. I guess the FBI or the police, I'm sorry, in that area in San Diego had him sort of like a call to set him up or whatever, and they were listening in. At one point, he agreed that they had sex consensually, and then he sort of like veered off of that, and it's a whole thing. So apparently, she was 17, he was 21, and there was a lot more to it than that. I'm trying to spare people the details of all of it.
Right.
The whole situation's bad. But anyway, he has been released by the Bills after all of that, for what it's worth. So anyway, onto the field, and there's no transition that we're going to like real stuff to fun and games here. So it is what it is. But Tyrod Taylor yesterday ends up getting hurt. He was playing in the Giants game. Daniel Jones was not playing in the game, but Tyrod was. And he actually completed the ball, and then he took a pretty nasty shot, and he was down, and it looked bad. But by all accounts, he's just sore, and he tweaked his back a little bit. But Brian Dable, their coach, said they don't think it's going to be anything all that serious. I'm a firm believer, Derek, kind of like you are with Bridgewater. I think eventually Tyrod Taylor takes that job over for Daniel Jones.
I agree. If he's healthy, if he's not seriously hurt right now, you're talking about a back issue now. We don't know what to agree. And I hate when coaches come out and say it doesn't look serious right now. Then all of a sudden, a few days later, he's missing 4 to 6 weeks because of a small fracture or something, small tear somewhere. Just say, we don't know. We're doing more medical tests. We'll give you further information as it's made available to us. Mm-hmm. Coaches come out and say that too commonly. It doesn't look serious right now. And it turns out to be a lot more serious than it is. But I agree with you, Rob. I think, and I've said it on this show, I think Tyrod Taylor ushers Daniel Jones from under center before it's all said and done. Now, Tyrod Taylor's a 12-year journeyman, played with a lot of teams. He had a decent measure of success when he was in Buffalo. And he's back. That was before Dabo got there, I believe, but now he's with Dabo. And as we know, Dabo likes to move his quarterbacks around, have them throwing on a run, and that's what Tyrod Taylor does better than being a stationary target in the pocket. Mm-hmm. And so I do think because of his experience, I think he's going to be quarterback in that team, and who's to say they may not play better with him under center than Daniel Jones?
Yeah, gonna be interesting to see how that shakes out. The Giants have a ton of injuries and a ton of other issues that they're worried about. Like, I don't know how closely you guys have followed the Kenny Golladay thing since he's gotten there, but it's been a total disaster.
Oh. I mean, he didn't play his first year there. He got there. Well, he played towards the end, but he hasn't done anything.
No. He has
That's the biggest heist money everywhere. Was it?
He has stolen money. He should be in a mask, Kenny.
Right.
He's been terrible.
He was the number one free agent receiver. You know what I'm saying? What, 2 years ago? The number one free agent receiver.
He was. Yeah, he was.
He has done nothing. I mean, he has everything. He's 6'5", like 210, 215, can run. And he just totally he got him.
Well, so I'm guessing like he's pissed off that they had him in the game yesterday, right? Did you guys see this video where he wouldn't even attempt a block? Did you see this?
No, what?
All right, so it's like a run play, and it's kind of around the end, and he kind of runs over to the guy, and then he's sort of just like, he doesn't even make contact to impede any of the guy's progress on a play. It was like, come on, man. Like, it was bad. It was not a good look. And I'm sure they can't do anything with him. The cap implications are deadly. So he's not going anywhere. They just got to pray that he starts trying a little bit. Is all I can say. But it makes you appreciate what the Eagles have.
Yeah.
The Eagles don't have those kind of dudes.
But it's culture. That's all culture based, bro. When you have a culture, a winning culture, and it's like, for instance, like when I first got to Kansas State, I used to hear stories about when Snyder first got there the year before, how he ran everybody out with that losing mentality. You know what I'm saying? He went from having like maybe 50 scholarship athletes at the time to like having just like maybe like 18 guys that were on scholarship, and he went and got some players from JUCO and started bringing in guys on his own until he changed the culture. And I can remember we were his first class that came in and really changed what K-State football was. He brought a new culture, a bunch of hard-headed guys, there may have been undisciplined to start off, but he ran all that out of us.
Yeah. And
he ran guys out. They was going to have to do the same thing. He has to run a lot of those bad seeds, a lot of those bad apples out of that locker room in order to change the culture, because it could be a long year if they don't. A long year.
Yeah. And look, I do actually believe Dable will be a good head coach. It's just a matter of, it's going to take a minute for him to get that thing straight. He's digging his way out of a hole, man. That's for sure. Sam Darnold, they're calling it a severe high ankle sprain. It's bad enough when it's a high ankle sprain. When you say throw severe onto it, you could be looking at 6-8 weeks, somewhere in that neighborhood. It looks like Phillip Walker, the old Temple product, is going to be the backup there because you also lost Matt Corral, if you remember, to that Liz Frank. So they better hope that Baker Mayfield, who doesn't exactly have a history of staying healthy, hope he stays healthy, man, in Carolina.
No, when they say, anytime you say severe high ankle sprain, that means something's torn in there. Something's torn or something's cracked in there, which means 6 to 8 weeks is being modest in terms of him being out. But you're right. They've lost their draft pick. Baker Mayfield had a serious shoulder injury not too long ago.
Yep.
And PJ Walker now, while PJ has looked pretty good and I've seen him. I saw Carolina play.
Yeah, he's been
twice.
okay when he's gotten chances.
Been okay.
Yeah.
He's playing for his old college coach, but he's still PJ Walker. It's not like he's ready for prime time yet.
No.
Carolina's got some issues at the quarterback situation. Sam Darnold to me was never going to be a guy in the equation anyway.
Right.
But he is a veteran backup.
He would have been a fine backup.
Yeah, but he's not even there now. You're down 2 quarterbacks, so now you got to go out and try to find another quarterback and give him a crash course in your offensive system.
Yeah, I mean, the one advantage, Walker knows the system. He wasn't going to make the team had everybody stayed healthy, but at least he's going to know what he's doing out there, for sure. So that one is one to keep your eye on. All right, did you guys see the Brady press conference after the game?
Oh my goodness!
No.
Go ahead, Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. Let me hear that. Go ahead.
He looked weird.
Okay.
Did he not look a little weird?
How did he look weird, Rob? Go ahead, Rob. Tell us.
He's aging the other way. Maybe it's just unbelievable.
Benjamin Button.
An incredible diet that he has going. I don't know. He's aging the other way. He looks like 28. He's 45. I don't. But God bless him if that's what's going on. If that's all that's going on.
Why don't you tell us what you said in the pre-show meeting, Rob?
I think there may have been some work done. That's all. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'll leave it at that. So anyway, but he won't. Yeah, exactly, Dion. There may be some of that, some Botox action or something else. But I thought the other interesting thing is you're never going to get the answer as to why he was out for those 2 weeks. You're just not. He's not going to give it up. I just don't see Brady doing that. But then again, all that said, when the time he was on the field Saturday, he's dealing like he always does.
You see him?
Zip.
I'm telling you.
It is what it is.
That's why I said, they're taking a hit. They're taking a hit at the offensive line, significant hit.
Yeah,
but you're still not going to get to Brady because they may run the ball 10 times again. Brady may have 6,000 yards passing this year. Brady's not holding that football, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen a guy with a combination quicker release and ability to process like Brady does. I mean, it is out of there in a second.
Yes.
It's remarkable. It really is.
They say his average release time is like 1.58 seconds or something.
Yeah, how do you defend that? Like, what do you do?
And that's the nature of how he runs the offense, man. That's why he just nickel and dimes you to death, man. You know what I'm saying? He's boom, 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 boom. It goes straight down the field. Then all of a sudden you think he's gonna, throw another slant, and all of a sudden, bam, it's a sluggo route, boom, over the top of the mic. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's he, just like he said, his pre-snap, man. It has everything to do with his pre-snap, man. If I was ever coach a kid in high school or even, Pop Warner, you got to teach him that pre-snap read. Forget making him an athlete, man. Show him that pre-snap read because you can still be an athlete, but if you can get the pre-snap read up, like if you go to the line, you look over, like against us. He saw that the DBs were 10 feet up. 10 yards off. That's like taking candy from a baby. All you have to do is run a slant, come back, or just sit there on a stop route. It's going to take the DB 5 or 6 steps to get there.
Yep.
Get the ball out, bam. You know what I'm saying? That's an instant 5 yards to maybe even 8 yards and starting off on first down.
That's
right. Now it's 2nd and 2.
Yeah.
And your playbook goes from here to like this.
Right.
After just taking advantage of that type of things. Or he sees the safety and he sees the safety leaning over and he sees that linebacker starting to slide over a little bit. He knows the blitz is coming from there. So now he can communicate with his receiver. Hey, you run exactly where that blitz is coming from, and I'm going to get the ball to you because there's going to be nobody to tackle you because they're blitzing from that area, and they're not going to be able to replace that guy that's blitzing before you get there.
Yeah.
It's like taking candy from a baby.
You cannot out-chest move Tom Brady even at 45 years of age, bro. It's just And then when you look at the weapons they've surrounded him with, Evans, Godwin, Cameron Brate, running backs out of the backfield, he'll swing it out of the backfield as quick as he'll dink it and dunk it over the middle of the field.
Yeah.
He don't make a difference with him. That's
he
why
doesn't care. There's not some pride. He doesn't care if it's a 2-yard, whatever it takes. Right. I mean, it is what it is. Alexander Madison, the running back for the Vikings, is apparently on the block, the trading block. They're looking to move him.
There you go.
He's done a nice job behind Cook.
Yes, he has.
During his career. That's a guy. You need a running back, man. I'd give some serious consideration.
Absolutely.
Say it again. Who is this again?
Alexander Madison. Yeah. Absolutely.
Good guy. Like, if you look at his numbers, he's played 3 years in the NFL.
Yeah, hard runner.
First year in 13 games, 462 yards. Next year, 13 games, 434. Last year in 16, 491. Yards per carry last year wasn't great. It was under 4, but his first 2 seasons, it was 4.6, 4.5. He's a guy who will help somebody if you could get him on the cheap. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to get him on the cheap, but just to throw it out there for an Eagles team, we keep talking about maybe needing some running back depth. Just a thought.
Initial point of contact.
I don't like
him.
He's a Boston Scott.
No, he's a bigger version. He's a bigger
he's
version. Yeah. He's a hard runner, keeps the legs churning. That's what you kept saying, that we need another Jordan Howard in here?
5'11", 215.
Yeah, so why not give him a shot? He's a good ball player. I hate to say that about any Minnesota player, but he's a good ball player.
I know that hurts you.
That hurt big. Cut me to the core. Cut me deep.
Marvin's listening somewhere. Marvin Gunn heard that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get a text before the show's over.
See, you're coming around. Exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to take my running back? Really?
Yeah, that's what he would say. That's exactly what he would say.
Yeah.
Give a little love to Ernie Zampese, who passed away at 86
man.
years old. This is a guy who was an innovator, man.
Yes, he was.
He was the offensive coordinator for Air Coryell with the Chargers back in the day.
Yep.
The Cowboys.
Won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys.
Right. He was with the Rams, the Patriots. This guy coached 24 years in the league. So hell of a career. And he was a guy who a lot of people point to and help usher in sort of the modern version of what offense, the passing game in particular, looks like now. So he's a guy who was greatly respected throughout the league. His son coaches with the Commanders.
Okay.
I know Ernie very well. That's my dude. I know his son.
Yeah, Ken. Ken is the son.
Yeah, Ken is a great dude.
QB
great
coach.
Dude.
Yeah.
I was with Ken when I was with he was with the Steelers with me, and I think he was also with Green Bay.
Okay. Yeah,
Or the
Troy
Giants,
Aikman mentioned him in his Hall of Fame speech, Ernie Zampese. So he's well thought of dude. Been around a long time. Stopped coaching in 2004. Went into retirement.
Yeah.
So anyway, props to him. All right, so week 16 we are up to, fellas. Believe it or not, in the schedule, what we do each day, we kind of look at the best games around the league. This is the Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, day after weekend in the NFL. You do have a Thursday night. The Thursday night game is good luck, Al Michaels, and
I'll be watching it. I'll
watch it too. Jets.
Rob,
and the Jags.
you watch anything, man?
I'll watch it. Yeah, I'll watch anything. I'm pathetic. I am pathetic.
Jeez, I wouldn't go that far now.
I would. Yeah, Jets and the Jags are Thursday night, so that's usually it ain't good. Let's put it that way. But there are a lot of good games. Saints and the Browns. And these are all, by the way, these are Saturday, Christmas Eve games, just to be clear. Saints and Browns, Bengals and Patriots, Washington, San Francisco. The Eagles, Cowboys is the 4:25 game. Okay, so that's the and the night game, I believe, is the Raiders Steelers.
It is. Yep.
So that's a pretty strong little lineup for Saturday.
Yeah, it is.
Now your Sunday games are good too. Packers, Dolphins, Broncos, Rams. Bucks Cardinals is the night game. There's only 3. And then Monday night is Chargers Colts. So that's another good. They don't disappoint much, man. That's going to be a tricky weekend for people. You got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's going to be
now outside of the Eagles game, give me one game that you guys must see TV that weekend outside of the Eagles game.
I gotta go. I gotta go Raiders Steelers.
Raiders Steelers. Okay. Wow.
I'm gonna go. Actually, I might go.
Even though Chargers Colts is pretty good, also.
Yes.
Huh.
What do you say, Rob?
Packers Dolphins. I'm looking forward to that one.
Man,
I'm fascinated every time I see Mike McDaniel speak. In a weird way. Like I can't, it's like an accident that I'm driving past and I have to look. I'm like, this guy's out there, man. He's deep, but he's also kind of strange. Have you guys picked up on this vibe?
Yeah.
He'll say things and you're kind of like, wait, what? What does that mean? I'm telling you, if you haven't started to observe this guy, just check out what's going on with him. He's different, man.
It makes you think, huh?
See, for me, it's that Chargers Colts game.
Yeah.
If push comes to shove, And I was about to say Tampa, Arizona, because that's going to be. But that Chargers Colts game, that's going to be Colts running attack against the Chargers aerial attack. That's going to be a good matchup to watch.
I think the Chargers maybe more than any team in the NFL. You talk to one person, they're telling you they're winning the Super Bowl, and the other one has them not making the playoffs. I'm telling you, the variance with the Chargers is all over the place,
bro. They say stuff like, well, they've always had talent like that, but never done anything with it.
It's true.
And now think about it.
It's true.
They've had Rodgers. They've had LaDainian. They've had some talent there. Sproles.
I've watched. They couldn't win one with Dan Fouts.
Yeah.
Remember what's the name? Marion Barber?
Yeah.
But
yeah, whatever his name was. Defensive end. Oh man, they had a squad.
Sean Merriman. Yeah, Sean Merriman.
Yeah,
look, man, you had Dan Fouts, Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow, John Jefferson. They couldn't come close to winning the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, I've watched this Chargers team, the history too long and too closely. That team is cursed. That organization, I don't care if they're the San Diego Chargers or the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are cursed. They're cursed.
Yeah. Listen, I hear you,
man. And all their fans think that.
They have a really good quarterback, and they have what should be. I have to really dig in on their offensive line, but they have a really good defensive line. I mean, usually if that's the case,
you
got a chance. But they're in a brutal division, like we've talked about a million times. Who comes out? Who survives? There aren't 4 teams coming out of that division. There aren't 4.
No.
Yeah, that much we know.
Can't.
And Kansas City, I think there's a lot of motivation there for that team, considering they lost Tyreek Hill, and a lot of people, I don't want to say people wrote them off. That's way too strong, but a lot of people sort of discounted them after that happened. And I think there's still a lot of, obviously, you got Mahomes. There's a lot of
they're winning that division. They're winning that division. I'm telling you.
I don't like their defense.
No, I don't either. But I do like that man under center and his ability to create plays and put points on the board.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, he's that guy. I mean, we've talked about this before. I think the Chargers are definitely one of them. You always hesitate to go against Tampa with Brady, but I don't know. Something feels weird there to me. I know it. And I know you guys can come back at me.
It's the Botox.
And week 10 and say you're crazy. I don't know, man. Like, is he all in?
Right, that's it right there. Is he all in?
And he can only do it one way. This dude only knows one way.
Yeah, he's the ultimate competitor, man. He's not stepping on that field halving it. He's not going to have – he steps on that field, he's all about his business, man. He's going to want maximum effort every time they snap the ball. And because of his competitive juices, Tampa Bay is going to be in the conversation come late December, early January, jockeying for position, playoff positioning.
All right. I got, while we're on that, I know we've discussed this before, but it feels also like New England's in some trouble.
Yes.
Now, do you guys do the same thing where you say, hey, it's Belichick? No way.
No, not this time.
That one's feeling weird.
Not this time.
Why? Because of the coaching structure?
Yes. Matt Patricia is now the offensive play caller.
I don't know, man. They won 10 games. They won 10 games last year with a rookie. Okay. Now, people were laughing when Brady left and won a Super Bowl his first year in Tampa. See, we knew Belichick was all about Brady. Well, Belichick slowly had to rebuild that thing, right?
Right.
And so you go out last year, you get a quarterback who was a rookie. He sets the record for consecutive completions, which means he was quick strike. So they're using some of that Brady mentality in terms of how quarterbacks should run the offense. They were right there at the doorstep, right behind Buffalo. I think if anybody's going to figure this thing out, it's Bill Belichick before it starts. They'll figure it out. And the Patriots are going to be a very competitive team this year.
To me, it's not necessarily Belichick. I'm just looking at the roster. I just don't see it from the roster standpoint. Yeah,
from a talent, like do they
have
enough weapons for Mac Jones?
Yeah. He's not one of those guys that's gonna run around and elongate play. He's gonna be right there. Do they have enough of the wide receivers. Yeah, they went out and got Devontae Parker from Miami.
Right.
But after that, you got Nelson and who else?
Ty Montgomery, Jacoby Myers, LaJordan Humphrey, and Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, that's very.
You look at the tight end situation. They have one of the best combination tight ends in the league, man.
Yeah,
Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. Yeah. They got a really good tight end combination.
I like the tight ends. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not counting out Patriot. I'm not counting out Bill Belichick.
Look, I know it's blasphemous to even hint that that's what I'm thinking, but I'm just my gut is telling me.
I am. I just don't see enough. I don't see enough on the defensive side of the ball either. I don't see it either. It's supposed to be a deep. All right, this deep. All right, they got Jalen Mills starting in one corner.
Hey, he's their guy. He's their number one corner.
He had a good year last year.
He was cool. But after that, it's really up in the air. Adrian Phillips getting kind of old, bro. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit.
You still got Devin McCourty back there. He's 35 now, so
he's real old. Now you're talking about getting kind of old. He's real old. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And look, we'll see. I mean, it is Belichick. I get it. He usually adapts and overcomes and all that. All right, we'll come back. We will dive into a little open talk, including, but we've got a big birthday today, and we will dive into what our favorite from this artist is. So we'll do that in addition to everything else when we get back. And Barrett is also going to tell us, we sit here and we kind of casually go through this guy's out, this guy's in. This could be it for guys in terms of their football careers. So you're going to kind of walk us through with that whole, you played with guys who you saw it end for them. So we'll talk about all that when we get back. Barrett, Derek, Rob, we are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Go for the polls and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
What up? Welcome back in. Sports Take JAKIB YouTube Network, hanging out with you. Guys, we're only, 3 days away from it being September, which is crazy when you think about it. We are a week away Thursday, from the first NFL game of the season. Look, that part's good. If it's going to come to fall, Derek, at least we have the NFL, man. At least we have that. We had a little college football over the weekend.
Yeah.
Watching Northwestern and Nebraska play from Ireland. Did you guys
watch
catch any
that?
of that? My man, Scott Frost just continues to figure out ways to lose football games.
Bro, how do you lose that game, man? And
what was the onside kick? You didn't need it. You had all the momentum.
Yeah, what was that about?
Oh, I don't know. He barely survived last year, and they gave him Mark Whipple, who's a really good offensive coordinator.
Mark Whipple's my guy. Mark Whipple's he was with me with the Steelers.
Okay, yeah, he's a hell of an offensive mind, but Frost just continues to figure it. Like, they gave him the benefit of the doubt because he was a really phenomenal quarterback there. Anybody else would have been gone after last year. Man.
Absolutely.
So they lost to Northwestern. It was good to get a little college, kind of back in the system here. So a couple of things, Barrett. I know you
Illinois too, right?
Yeah, there were a few games actually. It was Hawaii. I watched it. Man, that was late. What was the other one? Vanderbilt. Anyway, there were some okay games. Flipping around. Half of it is like I'm laying in bed and I'm half asleep, half wide. I don't even. Did I dream that? Was that an actual game? There's some really good ones this weekend, including Ohio State and Notre Dame. That's going to be fun Saturday night. Yeah, a lot of good games. I know you wanted to touch on this, Barrett, because tomorrow at 4 it becomes official for a lot of these guys. Some of them aren't going to make a practice squad, and some of them aren't going to be picked up by another team, and they're going to get cut, and that's the end of a dream. Whether it never happened in the NFL or they got a little taste or whatever the case may be, the road has come to an end, man. And we sort of do it casually when we're running through rosters, not really thinking about the human part of it. But you've lived that, man.
Yeah, it's nothing like, man, knowing that some of you dreamed about your entire life, at some point, almost came as though, to me, it was, all right, I'm going to make the squad. I'm not worried about it. I'm not losing any sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'm still young. And especially when you start getting towards the end of your career, you become human again. Like, man, I got to make this squad, But just first of all, the day of the game, the night before the game, the last preseason game, you know what you have to do. You know what your objective is. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to play for this team, you're auditioning for 31 other teams. After you get through playing the game, did you do all you could do? You think you just run this through your head. Did you do everything you could do to make it as hard as you can on them to cut you? Did you open up enough people's eyes from 31 other teams to bring you in? On this play, I should have done this. On that play, I should have did that. Didn't the coach say do this? It's just – you're leaving like, all right, coach didn't say nothing to me as I'm leaving out.
Right.
You made all these different scenarios, and you're sitting back, especially tonight, you're like, man, I'm about to get this call, man, because they practiced today.
Right.
The team practiced today. So when they go home tonight, they don't have a practice the next day. So it's like,
that's got to be, it's a torturous night, man. Like I'm sure you're trying to do everything you can to keep your mind off of it, but how do you keep your mind off of that if you know you're on the bubble, man?
You can't. And, you're steady looking at your phone, oh, who's this calling me? Oh, why are you calling me, man?
Who's knocking at my door?
Or a number you may not recognize, you go into a panic. If it's not your buddy calling you, if it's something else, you're like, oh, this is it. This is the Turk.
And then, I'm like, come on, man. I mean, why is the stadium calling me? Because first time I got cut, man. It was messed up because I was in Denver, and as I'm sitting in Denver, man, I the week before I had flew my wife out. You know what I'm saying? We had just had China. She was actually only 10 or 12 days old, and she packed up all the kids and flew out. You know what I'm saying? With my mother-in-law, they fly out. And, get everything set. I got the apartment ready. I had them come out, and furnish it and everything. And so they're there. They got there. The next day, we went to this party that the coach Shanahan had at his house. He had a party at his house. Put it like this. They spent over $1 million on this party.
On a party?
Yes.
Jeez.
Well, they did with the yard and everything inside a casino. They made a casino. in his house. So he, he has his party. So as I'm coming in, I got the wife. I had a great camp. I'm talking about I was in the best shape of my life. I even saw cuts and rips, and I even saw 2 abs up top. I had lost all the way. I was in.
You had a 2-pack.
Yeah,
you had a 2-pack Shakur. Yeah.
The last game, just for the last game, I go down, we play in Tampa Bay, and I'm running around there. I don't get tired because I'm in such good a shape. I'm just killing folks, man. I'm beating up Chidi Hanatu, man. I'm whooping his tail. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing everything. And then I come back. I know I have a great game because all the coaches keep talking to me about it. You know what I'm saying? We're flying back. They're just steady talking to me about it. Next day, we go out to practice. They're talking to me about it. All of a sudden on cut day, I get this phone call from a number. I'm like, why am I getting a number from a number?
You were told clearly you're in. Like this.
Yeah, because he says as I'm walking in with my wife. I said, Coach, I want to know if I'm making a squad, because I got my kids here, we got to roll them to school, everything. He said, what are you talking about, Barrett? Hell, you could buy a house.
No.
Don't worry about renting, buy a house.
Man, that make you want to punch a coach in the face,
I know.
man.
Bruh, I'm like, all right, cool. I thought I was cool. Well, a guy named Blake Brockmeyer, he was on the PUP list. But in order for him to get a $1 million bonus, he had to practice one time. And it just so that I had won the starting position. I was starting too. He had came in and he had practiced that day. He didn't even do anything in practice. He just was on the field practicing, did a couple drills, and that was it. So I didn't know that if he practiced one time, he would guarantee his $1 million signing bonus. All of a sudden, I get that call from him and said, Rick. Rick was the GM then. Where he's like, man, I need you to come on in, man. I said, for what? Coach told me I'm good. He said, I made the squad. Well, you know how it is, man, in the NFL, man. We got to let you go, man. But we had like 10 calls for you, man. So you're going to get picked up. I said, it's not about that, bro. I said, I paid for this furniture. I enrolled my kids in school. I got my wife here. I got my kids. She's like 15 days old now. The transition, he said, man, you're going to be all right, man. I think the most interested team, the most interested teams are Pittsburgh and Green Bay. Pittsburgh, Green Bay, and the Giants. They're the most interested. I'm like, come on, man. So I go in. He tells it. I said, bro, you could have told me this over the phone. We already talked, man. Since I'm walking out, I see Shanahan Brooksy, man. I'm not trying to hear what you're talking about, man. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Yeah. So I go home. As I'm on my way home, my phone starts ringing off the hook of people calling me. Hey, man, what happened, bro? I'm like, man, they cut me, dog. So I get, 2 phone calls. I get one from the Giants and I get one from Green Bay, from their GMs. Like, hey, man, we want to fly you out. What's going on? I'm like, bro, I just got cut 5 minutes ago. You're not supposed to be talking to me right now. You know what I'm saying? But
is there what is there, like a grace period? You can't.
You got to be on the waiver wire 4 hours.
Okay.
Waiver wire 4 hours. So long story long, my agent hooks everything up. I got to leave my wife with 4 kids. Yeah.
And a newborn.
3 kids. Newborn and my 2 daughters. I got to leave them in Denver, Colorado, by themselves. Well, I fly out. 4.5 hours later, I'm on a flight on my way to Green Bay. 4.5 hours later, I'm on a flight going to Green Bay. So I had to fly out her girlfriend to my house to Denver. Flew my girlfriend out. Her girlfriend out.
He said flew my girlfriend. I'm like,
right.
What?
I'll be seeing Barrett tomorrow.
No, I flew her girlfriend out and her mom out, and they packed everything up and had everything shipped back. They were there like 4 or 5 days, just packing up and closing all the business there. Had to get the furniture sent back, man. So that's the type of stuff that people don't see behind the scenes,
right?
That you got to go through. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, this is crazy, man. So I get to Green Bay, and it's crazy because the offensive line, they don't know me. I don't know them. I mean, half the guys don't even talk to me. It was just a crazy 2 weeks, man. A crazy 2 weeks. I had to get a car.
What, guys are mad at you? Why? Because you took their buddy's job or something like that? Or
yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this dude, because all the guys that were all the offensive linemen that were playing, the ones that started, were guys that were there. They were drafted there. You know what I'm saying? Like they had been there, their entire career. Frank Winters, Dave Wall, you know, I mean, all those guys, you know, Rivera
from Penn State,
all those guys, you know what I'm saying? All of them were there, you know, so it was just a crazy situation.
Were you there with Favre? Was
Favre was there. In fact, he saw, like, it was the second game of it was second or third game of the season we're playing, and Frank went out. Not Frank, but Rivera went out. Mark Rivera went out. He got hurt, so here I come in, and I'm asking for the call. What's the call? What's the call? They're not giving me the call. So now I'm about to beat up Frank Winter because he's the center. I'm about to whoop his tail. I'm about to beat him up because he ain't giving me the call.
Yeah, dude, right? I'm not asking for my health. You want quarterback
exactly.
Killed,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So long story long, Favre comes up. You know, he could see what's going on. So he said, "Hey, Brooksy," you know, he countries a box of cornrows. He said, "Hey, Brooksy, I wish it was snowing out here." I'm like, what is he talking about? We're playing we're in North Carolina playing. Right. It's hot as hell out there. It's like 100 degrees on the day. So I wish it was snowing outside. I said, what? I said, Brooks, I wish it was snowing outside. I said, what are you talking about? So I could track them dogs that shit in Frank Winter's mouth. Okay, 2 jet on 3. Ready, break. Everybody's laughing. We run to the line of scrimmage. All of a sudden, I look over. I said, give me the call. Slide light. It was like Luke. He gives me the call because of Brett, you know, affirmed that, all right, he's one of my guys now. Then I became their guy. Then they started talking to me.
Okay, that's what it took. Okay,
so Brett was that dude, man. Brett was that dude. Man.
Jeez, it is. It's right. It's, you know, we got to think about that side. These guys are human beings, man.
Oh, look at come on, John Dickerson.
What do you say?
Barrett's girlfriend. Barrett's girlfriend in Green Bay was bigger. What? Should have been a first round draft choice.
We're all catching.
Something's wrong with him, man.
Yeah. Freudian slip. Man. Yeah, we're getting the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh my
God, unbelievable. There you go, Captain Tony chiming in. Yaki Barrett. How did you do on you go fishing? Is that what this is?
No, I didn't go fishing because I had a babysitter, a dog sitter for Yoki. I can't take Yoki with me because she gets seasick.
My God.
Stop laughing, Derek. Stop laughing, Derek.
Well, you tried. You tried, right?
Captain Tony, look, Captain Tony and Derek was laughing at my dog Yoki. Her name was Yoki, but both of them call her Yaki because she had you know, throw up hanging down from her ear.
Something about Mary.
It was terrible, man. So I'm mad because he didn't do it. So I couldn't even go fishing, man. I was pissed. I was so mad, man. I started to take her anyways, but then I'd have to sleep over your house, bro. I'd be at your house knocking at your door. Hey, man, tell the dog to move over, scoot over a little bit, man. My wife would kick me out, bro, because you know,
you can always stay at my place.
Yeah.
You're always welcome.
They call my dog Yaki. And look, he's the same thing, Yaki.
Yaki, that is pretty funny, though. I mean, you have to admit. I mean, that is pretty strong.
Yaki.
All right, let's do some birthdays because I'm curious where you guys stand on this. So we'll start with this one. There's a lot, but we got to start with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson would have been 64 years crazy, right? Would have been 64 years old.
Wow.
Today. Let's go around the horn. Favorite Michael Jackson. You can include Jackson 5 if you want, but favorite Michael Jackson song for you guys.
Beat It, man. Beat It was my spot, man.
Beat It was badass. Yep. Yeah, Beat It was good. Eddie Van Halen on the guitar riff on that one. That's a good one, Barrett. How about you, Gunnar? Where are you going?
Smooth Criminal.
Oh,
Smooth Criminal, man.
That was like the most expensive video ever made during that time.
He's in that white gangster suit. The old
yeah. And the thing that got me is how they all lean like this, man.
The lean move was awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
Bro, I like when he spun around and disappeared.
Yeah.
That was big time, man. Big time.
His videos were epic when they were about to be released, like Thriller and everything. It was epic.
We used to make videos back then. Just do that though, man. But videos. I remember we used to watch UMTV, like UMTV Raps. I came right home to watch UMTV Raps, man. Yep. The new video. I mean, they made it like a production, man. You know, like the what was it? The astronaut, you know, come over. It's video.
And then think about some of the big names he'd have in his videos: Eddie Murphy, Iman,
Wesley Snipes was in Bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, matter of fact, Thriller. I think when Thriller came out, it was the most expensive music video ever made. And then I believe which one you remember the times with Eddie Murphy was in that one.
Yep.
That one blew up. Dirty Diana
That's what I'm
blew
talking
up.
about.
That's an underrated song.
Let me tell you something.
Dirty
Dirty
Diana.
Diana.
Yeah.
That
Dirty
song
Diana.
is sick, man.
Very underrated.
I sit there playing air guitar on the riffs. Oh my
Yes.
goodness, man.
Yes.
Dirty Diana.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Jackson had 13 Billboard #1 singles. He won 15 Grammys, and he holds 39 Guinness World Records. Guinness Book of Records, World Records.
Man.
That's crazy.
My goodness. The dude was making money after his death, man, because there were songs you find out he had made with big name artists that had never been released.
Yes.
Like 5, 6, 7 years before he
owned
died.
the Beatles catalogs.
On the Beatles catalog.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling I think even some of the like Living Off the Wall is underrated.
Yep.
Like
yep.
that's before Thriller. It was his album before Thriller. That's the first time he worked with Quincy Jones.
Now I'll tell you what,
Thriller was with Quincy Jones too.
One of his most profound videos ever, and I still watch it today, and I still listen to the song. It's one of my favorite songs. His song called The Earth Song, where he's talking about how we're destroying the planet. You got to see this video, the Earth Song video. I don't know who did it, who shot it, who edited it. They should have won an Academy Award for just the editing alone. It's unbelievable. And I think that's one of his most underrated songs, the Earth Song, about, cultures dying off, how we're destroying the planet. And then when he hits the climatic part of that song, man, it just gives you chills about how stuff is just disappearing from the planet Earth and stuff. Dude, awesome video. You have to see it.
Yeah, there's so many, man. Man in the Mirror, if you wanted to go with the slower
stuff.
Oh my goodness. Whatever. Billie Jean, obviously, just man. Gigantic.
I was one of the few okay Michael Jackson fan. I was just okay with Mike.
Yeah, were you more of a Prince guy? Because they were always the rivals with everybody.
Prince was
a Prince or is it MJ? Right?
Prince was my dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Like me, Prince was that dude. Because anytime you got a song, Darl and Nikki, dog, that's one of my favorite, my all-time favorites.
If you're gonna dress in leather purple and
with the ass out,
assless chaps, like you better be a badass. Like you better be a badass. Man.
Now I'll tell you what, I'll tell you something that gave me the chills. His song Man in the Mirror, when he sang it the night of the Grammys, and all of a sudden the curtains open up and it's like 100-piece choir backing him up singing it. And then the music stops, and he just starts ad-libbing on the stage.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man!
Bro, you're an avid musician, dog. You into that, man? Like you sing.
Yeah, man.
I wasn't that dude. Like I don't listen to music very often at all.
Right,
bro.
right.
Yeah. Like, I'm always listening to the radio. That's why I hear Rob's mouth so much, man. Dude, when do you not work, bro?
Right, right.
I hear you all the time.
Gotta keep going, man. He can't hit a moving target.
Him only have 6 jobs.
I'll tell you the other one. I love Want to Be Starting Something too.
Yeah.
You just go through the Thriller.
What?
There isn't one bad song if you go through Thriller.
Not at all.
It's incredible. It is.
Dude, the bass on Want to Be Starting. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's badass. Man.
Oh my goodness, man.
All right, so MJ would have been 64.
Make me want to get up and moonwalk right now.
Exactly. Let's go. Show the people your moves there.
No, I don't want to break nothing, man.
You don't want to show off.
I want to be on IR.
I hear you. Yeah, we need you. John McCain was born on this date in 1936. Of course, war hero and politician, and we go on and on and on. Lived in was a POW for years. Just an incredible life. Noah Syndergaard, Philly, is 30 years old. Pitched yesterday.
All right.
Yep. Joel Schumacher. Yeah, he didn't pitch great, but baby Thor. Joel Schumacher's 39 years old. He was born in 39. He passed away, but great filmmaker, Joel Schumacher. Charlie Parker, incredible musician, was born in 1920. Chris Sims, the talking head now, former NFL player, son of Phil, is 42.
Talking head.
Well, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean, it is what he is. Ingrid Bergman, the actress, was born in 1915. Rebecca De Mornay, the actress, is 63 years old.
She's 63 now.
She's 63. Former Risky Business. Look it up, kids. You'll thank me later.
Look at Rob.
That was a good scene on the train. All right. Anyway, Pebbles, the actress, 58 years old, or the singer. I mean, Pebbles, Mercedes boy,
Pebbles,
love
yeah.
it.
58 years old. I had to throw this one in there. All right. Isabel Sanford. Do we know who Isabel Sanford is?
Let me look it up, bro.
Wait a minute. No, no. Don't be looking it up. You got to make a guess first.
I don't know. You know, I don't know any of this stuff.
Wait,
70s
from the
sitcom.
The Jeffersons.
Wheezy
from the Jeffersons.
Yes.
That's right.
Wheezy.
Yeah.
Wheezy was born in 1917. Yeah. Wheezy was a lot older than George in real life. I looked at.
Wow, I didn't know she was that old.
And had a deeper voice than George too.
Wheezy was like Barry White, man. Wheezy had a voice on her.
Wheezy didn't play either.
No. Wheezy would keep him in line. Yeah, George could not get away with it.
You moved on up because Wheezy was making sure you was okay.
Exactly right. Yep. Who was it? Florence, the maid, would always give him a hard time.
Dude, she was a riot, man. She took no stuff from George.
No, she was.
Oh my goodness.
Did I miss any birthdays, Derek? You got any more?
Liam Payne from Barrett's favorite group, One Direction.
That's One Direction. Who Barrett loves them. Got his poster. Their posters up in his room. Yeah.
Something's wrong with you guys, man. I wonder about you guys all the time.
Man.
I'm continually praying for you guys all the time.
And so does my family.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
We need it. That's for sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. So if we get further, we're obviously you don't go anywhere because you got Dan Cilio coming up for the next 3 hours with the National Football Show. But if anything else breaks, he'll obviously update you on that and all of our programming tomorrow. Certainly a lot of it geared towards football, but we'll be back at it tomorrow at the same time from 12 to 3. Oh, John has a good one. Pee Wee Herman was turned 70 on Saturday. So
is he that old?
Paul Rubens. Yeah, he's 70 years old.
He's still alive?
Yes, he's still alive. Yes, he is. That's going to do it for us. We're still here, at least right now. So we will talk to you guys tomorrow. I want to thank Xander Krause, our producer, doing a great job. And everybody in the chat section, you guys are the best. That's for sure.
Thank you, everybody, for the congratulations. Much appreciated.
Thank you, folks.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Plan your day with confidence.
Definitely want to keep the umbrellas on hand.
And keep your family safe with Action News and AccuWeather.
Numerous tornadoes.
Well over 7 inches of rain.
Your go-to team when severe weather strikes.
The water is still rising right now.
Keeping you prepared wherever you watch. On TV, on 6abc.com, and on our streaming apps.
And that's when we go severe weather mode and on the air for you.
Action News and AccuWeather. The team you trust.
In Philadelphia, we celebrated the miracle with pride only 5 years ago. And then the following morning, IBEW Local 98 members went back to work, building this city, rescuing our communities from decay, and inspiring the young men and women of the region to take pride in who we are. Like the Cats, Local 98 members believe in hope.
To learn more about who we are, what we do, and career opportunities with Local 98, visit us, IBEW98.org.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.